couple hours left on a negative kind of trading day. I'm just watching NVAX was popping back up on volume coming off of an absolute disaster of a report, but trying to get back to the upside right now. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Let's have a look at where the market is at the moment. 1.23 for the NASDAQ to the downside, 0.25% for the Dow, the S&P 0.4 right now in negative territory. Yeah, this move still continues, continues along to the downside. Bitcoin and Ethereum, 5.8%. 4.2% in negative territory. It has been one of those days. I'll show you the board here. Red continuing to grow across this board. That's Nielsen, if you missed it this morning, finalizing that merger agreement, up 21%, doing actually a decent amount of volume today. NLSN, this is the oil energy sector. Big gainer today, 4.2%. Oxy, yeah, Buffett up to 20%. Of Oxy now for Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. XOM, 2.5%. Devon, Hess, MPC, OKE, all three through 2.5% as well to the upside. Some of the banks are back in positive territory today. Insurance companies, specifically the individual and diversified financials, not so much, back to the downside. In fact, Warner Brothers is here, WBD, 7%. To the downside. TTWO coming off earnings, also 4% negativity. NWS, on the other hand, to the upside. Look at these two over here. Tech stocks and consumer discretionary stocks leading this market lower so far this afternoon. That's Norwegian right there, 11% to the downside, dragging the rest of the group along with it. Tech shares, as I mentioned, also in the red. We're going to check out a few things we were discussing. If you joined us in the pre-market this morning, how did you do this morning? Was it a good morning? If you were short, it was pretty easy, depending on what you were looking at. Some of the small caps faded pretty hard. Some of those low float squeeze stocks faded pretty hard. Steph is coming up. She's going to have a look at the futures for you this afternoon. We'll do that a couple times. Let's get into a review, though. Neil is going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades.
Hello, today your trade of the day is going to be on NVIDIA, but I'm going to cheat a little bit here because in the effort to try to teach here, I want to show you what happened on Micron. Now, obviously, NVIDIA yesterday comes with their update and not looking good for the chip sector as well. It makes some big moves, and it was in play. Micron, we get a bit of the same thing, where their outlook on demand is not looking good for the sector, and them in particular. Micron is gapping to the downside. So look, I like the space to the short side, and I will get to a little bit of the changeover that I'm going to make. Usually, I'll show you guys higher time frame on NVIDIA and then show you my NVIDIA chart. But I want to show you on the same level Micron on the 3-minute and NVIDIA on the 3-minute. Because oftentimes I've been asked, like, what's my favorite setup? And I usually tell people it's like a pop and fade type of idea. And the notion being, and over here on NVIDIA, if I'm bearish on a stock and it's trending down, just to look for that little pop into the open, into pre-market resistance, and then that flush. Because the advantage of that type of a setup is you know where you're going to make that decision point. You know where your out is going to be when it approaches that high. Ignore these nonsense dark pool wicks. And then you have some semblance of where you want to take some take profits. You had a consolidation down here at 171. We're shorting into the 174 in front of 75. You're taking your clean couple of dollars scalp trade. You're holding out for the lows, and then you're trending for the rest of the day. Pretty simple concept here. But look at what happens over here in something like a Micron where you have a wider range. Similar concept, not nearly as tight in execution. I pulled it back, pulled it in so you can kind of see here. Ignore again the dark pool wicks. But Micron had this pre-market high way up there, just sort of testing above like 59.50 and resistance at 60 even on the gap down. In this case, the stock is gap down and you have so much more room to run. Violent move because it was in play, so as it's coming up, sure, I'm working into a short position, taking that pop, and then it's just breaking the stop out. Reverses, and eventually, it's going to come back in here. Am I going to be able to get back in when it does the wick off top, and then jumps, and then fails? Yes. I'm able to get back in, we're able to scalp some out, then it trends for the rest of the day. But there is a very, very large difference between the nice, tight, easy, consolidated, gradual play into the upside after the open that happens on NVIDIA versus right at the open, a huge spike up and then running into that level. Those are basically the same concept, the same sector even. Yet in this case, because it was in play, what you need to do when it's screaming up in that spot is just be able to back off and understand that let it slow down a little bit. You've got to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade the right way. Because when I've started in here at 59.5 and then adding in at 75, I basically put myself in a spot where I have to adhere to my stop to make sure that we don't actually get a big run and then just average into it, hoping it's going to fall in. If you just wait for it to slow down, test above that 60 level, knowing that it's a little more volatile right at 930, you can then work into that trade after on the consolidation down, and then no problem for the trend. So there's two ways that you can play this. You can either go to the sympathy play, which in this case, much easier, tight, and calm trade, and then gradually work it down, or be super patient when it is directly in play, and at 9:30, all hell breaks loose. So this was a good learning experience for me. I did have both the shorts. It's more like a 2 for 3 because I traded Micron twice, only had to do NVIDIA once. Sometimes the easier trade or the more simple setup might not be the one that's directly in play that day. It could just be the better setup and the one you can hang on to. NVIDIA ends up being your trade of the day, but definitely a learning experience for me on Micron. As always, trade of the day brought to you by Daytrade the World. Fantastic platform, fantastic access to capital, and of course, the ability to trade just about anything you want in the markets like these.
What a move for all of the chip stocks, not only just NVIDIA, not only just AMD, but Micron as well, the one that comes out this morning and cuts their forecast as well. Ahead of what is going to be a big day coming up tomorrow, we will be on, guys, a couple minutes early tomorrow morning. Make sure you're with us at 8:30 Eastern for the latest reading on inflation. On that note, I have a brand new tool, which I'm kind of excited about to show everyone. This is the interest rate probability screen on the Icon terminal, which is updating in real time, which is kind of cool. So it has all of the central banks on this side. So the Federal Reserve, the ECB over here, Bank of England, Swiss, Bank of Canada, so on and so forth. So this column here is the most probable action for the next move. So if you go to the Federal Reserve, obviously a hike anticipated 0.75, 68.5%. The least probable, a hike of 50 at 32.5%. Down here, Bank of Canada looking like another 50 coming for us as well. I show you that because what is to come tomorrow will determine what's going to happen in September. However, we do have 2 months worth of inflation data potentially to come before the next Fed meeting, which is going to come in September. But we will be on, as I said, a couple minutes early tomorrow morning to bring you that CPI, July CPI at 8:30 Eastern tomorrow. I wanted to mention some of the meme stocks back to the downside as well. Let's maybe start though, guys, on these chips because they continue to lead the market to the downside. We saw how big the tech sector was specifically on the sector board this afternoon, the biggest to the downside. Semiconductors individually, the biggest within that sector.
First of all, I like chips. Ketchup is my personal favorite, but we're talking the other kind.
I finally had those Miss Vicky spicy ketchup chips. They're pretty good.
Yes.
They're pretty good.
People
in the States don't know about ketchup chips.
It's true, but they're delicious, man. There's no way around it.
Tasty.
So actually, the interesting thing is we talk about that. We talk about the Fed, and I know we'll talk about that a lot in the next couple of days. If that CPI number, if it comes too hot, man, you could see they could see them raise before, like in between meetings. Like you could actually see a surprise there. I think that's very much in play. We got to talk about the chips. I just went over the trade of the day, and look, the reality is, all you had to do was look to the short side, and it definitely worked out. But there's been a little bit of a bounce. Like Micron just kept. I actually reloaded Micron here, and then it tagged VWAP and it's starting to come back in. There has been a bit of a recovery bounce. Micron down that 5%. Microsoft is dragging these markets higher, but it has been a couple of days now. And I'll lump Intel into it, right? Because it all started with the Intel earnings, with their guide forward and then demand issues. And then you throw in NVIDIA coming through, and then Micron again here today, just basically taking that whole chip bill that got signed and saying, no, you're going to have to sell that news because semiconductors are still running into some issues. And it was a violent one for me. admittedly. I always talk about what my favorite trade is, and I like the level of 60, but it didn't conform to my favorite setup until it failed on the way back in. If I had missed that initial trade and taken only that second one, then I don't have to worry about things. But, it's about getting that learning experience in for me. That's why I wanted to show you both. It could be easy to just go on and be like, yeah, NVIDIA was a great and easy short, but I had to show you guys that I like both these names to the short side, and one of them I had to lose before I could win, and the other was just pretty clean there. But this whole sector, they're under a little bit of pressure here, and if we do get like a hot CPI print, the chips could struggle for a few days.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm, man, unfortunately, the only chip name that I played today was Micron, it looks like. Obviously, we were at Tesla. That's going to be my biggest loser. But right now, we are just in a bunch of fun names right here. We're short Amazon. We're short Meta. We're short Meta off 168. We're short Shopify off 37. We're short Palantir, 43 cents of the money. So, yeah, I'm a busy guy right now looking at other things. But now that the market has sort of battled back a little bit here on the NASDAQ, we're hovering around this 13,000, and it sucks because it's been choppy. I mean, those of you that are watching us, thank you again for that, because it means a lot to us that we have this loyalty and everything, and already 4,000 people tuning in, which is fantastic. So thank you so much. We're going to have Steph coming up soon to talk a little bit about the futures as well. But what I'm interested to hear what she has to say. I know she looks at the ES, but the NASDAQ has been really choppy in the afternoon, so I'm just hoping that we don't have that chop right now. And I'd rather be short than long, although, we talked about why Brendan started this day off, or this segment off here, talking about CPI. That's coming tomorrow. There is no interest rate decision. There's no meeting until September, unless, as Neil said, that there is a surprise. I don't think they need to do it. I don't think the numbers are going to be outlandish, that they're going to need to come with something to save us all, but we'll see if that does come through or not. Regardless, I'm excited for tomorrow. I want to remain short here in the afternoon, unless we do take out that NASDAQ high, and then I'll get out of everything anyways. But, kind of like these wicks here, 13,050, 13,040, something like that on the NQ, and then we'll get out of this trade. But, for now, let's try to stay net short and not get blown out. We have our targets, and as long as they stay where they are, I'm pretty happy. But other than that, man, it was just Micron. It was going to be, one of my best trades. It was when we shorted into 61 and then held it all the way back down. And then we tried to go short here on the 50 period, didn't work out, and we got out. So, Micron's going to be a good trade for us, obviously, as we had that short initially. Wish we would have some ticks here at the bottom. We were a little too conservative and got out. The majority of them are actually this tick right here, when it came right back into the day at 58.59. So that was really the winner for me, but that's Micron. I still like AMD. I was almost pushing AMD long there, and I wasn't at my seat to do that, but this break right here, 94, 95, I guess it was probably 95 spot. It doesn't look great, but it did go to 95.25. Maybe AMD's a short. Like, I'm already short. I would short AMD now and all this stuff. Maybe I should. Let me have a quicker look, but yeah, we're still right there.
I like NVIDIA better.
Yeah,
what is it? What is AMD?
They're all the same. I mean, they're all just doing nothing
thing
right now. So, all right, let's just stick with what we got, man. We got Amazon banging it out for 25 cents right now. Meta, Palantir, and Shopify.
This one popped back up on some volume, guys. Salesforce, CRM back to the downside, back under 182 here. 4% today for Salesforce. There was some executive shuffles, if you want to call it that, this morning announced. August 24th will come their latest earnings. But watch Salesforce also dragging down some tech stocks. Let's get a check of the overall market here. Steph is coming through, as we said this morning, kind of a wait and see ahead of this inflation data coming tomorrow morning. Steph, what are you looking at this afternoon?
Hi, everybody, back again to review ES Futures. So, of course, I'm going to go through the type of day that it is today and also what we could be potentially seeing with CPI numbers coming tomorrow. So, as you can see here, it was quite clear that we were able to stay under our 4150 key level that has been in play from the prior week as well as 2 weeks ago, too. So, it was a very directional day, bear trend, maintaining that momentum. My two levels that I have on an intraday basis were around 41.40 and 41.20. I was actually involved in a short position because we were lacking strength to the upside From 41.30, it went to 32 before we came to the downside. As you can see, at 41.20, we're kind of struggling to breach below it to get to that 4100 level, and of course breaking that 40.80 critical support level. So if we're going to kind of maintain in this range here for the rest of the day and not make any moves for power hour, expect if the numbers are going to come negative for that 4100 psychological level and breaking that 40.80 potential support. Of course, to the upside, if there is strength, 4150, again, maybe even potentially heading up to 4200 if we do have the momentum on the upside. That's all from me, and back to you guys.
Busy day to come tomorrow with the potential of either direction really setting up at this point as far as the market is concerned. Let's move on to Upstart. Speaking of day lows, Upstart trying to test right now as the market continues to push to the downside. Here's the note from pre-market this morning on Upstart. Dismal Q3 forecast. Q2 results were way below estimates as well. Here we go, guys. Back to the downside.
So I'm going to go Upstart in a quick second here, but I have to go over a few things. One, NVIDIA, Sean was saying AMD, and NVIDIA this morning found support at 170, broke 170 downside, flopped $3 more, and now it's at view up. That's why I kind of preferred the short there, went into it. It's already starting to head to the downside, but I do have a long that it's only long on the board, and it's softy when it broke that 282, and at 282.5, I reloaded it, took some profit. It's now challenging the downside. So if the market's going to come in, I have to watch out for this. Maybe give it to that 281.75 before I have to stop that out. The shorts are in, man. It is what it is, even though softy is relatively strong. But Upstart was, and again, we keep talking about this same one concept in this earnings season. If it's highly shorted, and Upstart, I wrote this down on my iPad, 35% I want to say short float, give or take. If it doesn't break the low, there's only one thing that can happen. At the open, it immediately tries to test the bottom here, and we're talking the pre-market show, it was a 27.75 bottom. I said if we get a chance where this runs into 28 and holds, it's a long in front of 28 with a stop at that pre-market low at 27.75, and then just look for the squeeze. And it squoze all the way to the pre-market high. It then even gave you a clean 30 even break. So it gave you two longs. The first was off that bottom. Then it was a clean 30 break into 31.50. So you're able to get like a 10% move up. And this is where it gets hairy. And you got to be able to make top wicks sometimes. As it came into this on the 15-minute, yesterday's lower high, this is where I looked at and thought this would be a short. And yes, it was a short from there. But it took out 33, got through the quarter, even broke higher up to 33.50, and simply ran a lot of stops, including myself. So I got stopped out at the high today, trying to reverse that into the short. If I get a chance to short a lower high today in the afternoon, it'll be about 29.50, but it's right back on those lows. But the moral of the story here is, in this earnings season, with all these names that have been beaten up so much and down so much, when they go down 10% or more overnight and they got the big short interest, time and time again, the risk to reward has favored the long side of the trade. And that's what we saw again here with Upstart.
All right, we just made our day basically right now, so spin it. You know, we were just short all those names. We just talked about that. We were just short Amazon. We hit that down here at 50 a couple times. We were short Meta. We hit that down here a couple times. Big trade alert, and then we hit Shopify. Yes, let's go as we continue to make moves to the downside. Merck right now, diabetes drug carcinogen for Merck. So Merck right now, downside, not good. I just typed that in the chat a little while ago. That, you know, Merck, something's up with Merck. So there it is right there. 90 down to 87 as their diabetes drug contains potential carcinogen. So bye-bye Merck to the downside. I don't like to step into these.
That seems unlikely. Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, it could be in like one sample or whatever, but it is hitting the stock right now. Merck going to the downside there. Obviously, Brendan is the man, the myth, the legend for a reason. So once he sees more on that, but I'm pretty sure that's all the story is for right now, as Merck going to the downside. I am going to take a little piece out on Meta there. I just punched out, I think, some. Anyways, let me go back to my minute chart. Yeah, there it is, 56. So we do get that 56 print there as Meta 30 cents in the money, Amazon 30 cents, Palantir 50 cents, and Shopify 25 cents. So some of these names really starting to get spicy here into the close. And I'm going to do one of Neil's lines right now and just pay myself first. And I think that right now is important to do, because if we're going to sit here and talk about the NASDAQ kind of just trolling around and like, going out, figuring out what they want. Like trolling when you're in, not trolling in the social media sense, but when you're fishing and you throw your line out there and you're just kind of like trolling. You've got the motorboat going, it's small, slow. We got to get Randy over here and you're just trolling for those salmon or whatever. And then bang, something hits. So I feel like the market right now is kind of just doing that. It's just making its little way around and eventually something's going to hit. And I mean, we know what the lightning is coming. It's coming tomorrow and it's the CPI number. So we may not get that big fish until tomorrow. That's a pretty bad analogy, but I hope it worked out.
Why is that bad?
I don't know. That's the way I feel like. Anyways.
Motorboat, big fish. You brought it back to.
Yeah, got that big net right there.
The problem is you just like
scoop that
you
shit
said
up.
bang out the shorts.
Yeah.
And then like in the next rant you're talking about motorboating.
Yeah.
So I mean,
where's your mind?
What do you mean? Where's my mind? Come on, man.
I explained what I'm talking about.
Motorboat.
I mean, I always talk about banging out these trades, man.
Anyways, you motorboating. It's what's the damn movie? It's Vince Vaughn. You guys know the movie I'm thinking about? Not Old School. It's the other one. Wedding Crashers.
Oh, Wedding Crashers. Well, there's so many of them. Yeah.
You motorboating that, anyways.
Wow, Neil.
The Merck news to me. The reason I was sort of skeptical about it. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's just more that Merck's. To make a mistake like that, like that's a pretty big deal. And it's rebounding pretty big. But I play these news things the same way. When it tries to make the rebound, find the first level that makes sense to me, which is the previous low, that 89, and try to fade that because you've already had the first move in. So I'll see if I can't get something in the 88.50 range and work it into 89. Understanding the direction is to the southbound. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get some clarification and maybe it's not as bad as it sounds, because that sounds bad.
Yeah, they were saying...
It sounds real bad.
Yeah, it sounds real bad there.
It kind of feels like maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to play off of this into 89 for Merck just to get into this trade. And like we said, like pay yourself because the market hits the lows. We bounce off them. You could be right back in a heartbeat.
You might as well. I mean, we'll do that right now. We'll go, oh my God, I don't want to hit the bang button. I don't need Neil over here saying anything. But we'll go chicken dinner winner right now as we go because Amazon, not true. We're having fun here. This is the afternoon show. Welcome to the jungle. All right, so Amazon, nice short to the downside for sure. Meta, also, we paid ourselves there as well to the downside. Palantir's just doing nothing at $9. We'll wait. I mean, Palantir, honestly, should have got some out there. I mean, we've been short Palantir all day, so we're just going to hold this. We're not in this. Oh, that's the super boost they're talking about. There is a FanDuel Blue Jays super boost. That's what
for Blue Jays?
No, it's free. It's one of those free money ones. I think.
Okay.
Where they get one strikeout and you get $50 or something like that.
If we can strike someone out.
Yeah, if we can do it. Kikuchi, wow. Crappy.
Can we not talk about you say Kikuchi?
The Blue Jays there.
I'm literally having fun, and then don't bring that name up.
Neil or Sean, both spelled. This is the best. The best part about this comment is right here. Both our names are spelled wrong. Neil or Sean. That's the best.
They're trolling. Somebody's
I don't know.
Us there.
So someone had this idea of putting our names on the board. So that people could see them. But do we think that China, Taiwan could affect the market? I'm not like. Honestly, I mean, that's a great question, and I don't know if that's a troll question or not, but
that's
obviously if China ever does anything to Taiwan, Joe Biden, I was going to say there. I was going to say the president has already come out and said that they would like to, possibly defend and they respect Taiwan's position, so on and so forth. That's not going to make China happy. So for me, when you're talking about China and the second largest economy in the world, might have an effect. Might have an effect on the market. Are we supposed to talk about Upstart by any chance? Or?
We talked about Upstart already, but then things got out of hand. But it's a good question because obviously semiconductors, anyone related, like EV sales in China, Apple as well, suppliers under constraint. Like there's all kinds of potential contagion there if things were to escalate. But I wait till something actually maybe happens further. We had the Pelosi visit, and then it seems like we're waiting for the next shoe to drop there. I wouldn't get too far ahead of it. Like the things that are moving the market right now, like we're gonna be let's focus on the Fed.
Yeah.
Focus on the demand concerns with the chips. That's more front of the mind there. And then just going back into earnings. So I don't want to get too far ahead of that, but. Just worked into Merck here. It played right into 88, 80. I wanted it to be 88, 88, but it's not. It was 88, 84. Was able to get some shares in at an average of about 50s, got some 60s in there, taking some out on the way to 88 even. A lot of times what will happen is if it doesn't flush, and then you have this huge wick down into 87, and then the next move down, not even getting into 88 there. So if you catch a bit off of 88, there's no reloads in front of 89. As a matter of fact, keep it a little bit tighter, possibly to this 88.80 that we just put in. Because sometimes the market digests news and say you just oversold it, and I will let the market give me my cue there. Sure, bad news to the downside, miss the first move, catch the second, but don't get stubborn about it and assume it just has to trend for the rest of the day.
There's a couple other ones making a move on that as well. NVO in New York has a competition or a similar drug to this Merck drug. So this NVO with a big move to the downside. Also J&J with a big move, or not a big move, but a move anyways to the downside. J&J also has a very similar drug to that Merck drug, guys. So a heads up on that space for the time being. No confirmation on that. I also saw that there was one report said it was a cancer drug, not a diabetes drug, so we'll wait for confirmation. Speaking of drug makers getting hit today, Novavax struggling still along day lows here. We did try to bounce initially, guys, but no love for NVAX today.
That love for Novavax. Can I see that for a second, here, Fahad?
Yo, dude, Fahad.
Fahad just making sure that I know what can you even see that there? I know Fahad making sure that I know what stock we're doing here.
What's on the back of
NVAX. Oh, this is our new setup. Oh, you thought you could see that? Oh, no. Anyways, thanks Fahad for that one. We are doing NVAX now, so I'll pass it off to my friend Neil.
I didn't trade NVAX today.
Neither did I.
I'll tell you what happened with NVAX.
It's on the list. I mean, we have so many other things.
I'll tell you what happened with NVAX. Down 30%. It was that same trend. I had this conversation with Brandon on the floor here, one of the floor managers. It was that it gave you the same look. Gap down, short interest of 20%. This and Upstart, pretty much the same look. I'll zoom in. It tried to take out the low of the day, and then it broke out and it squoze higher. And yes, I'm saying squoze. Look it up. It's in the Webster's Dictionary. Pratt already did it for us. For those of you that say I should say something else, I get it. I don't know that you're going to have both of these, but they both set up almost the same way. They made that high. It's flushed ever since. I don't think there's a trade left in this name. So you won't see me, you're not going to see me go back to the well or go to the well on Novavax unless maybe it takes out a fresh low. But this is a phenomenon that we cannot ignore. The story for these names is go to your daily chart, look at what they've done in the last year and a half. Novavax had a high of 320. You're now trading under $40. Big short interest. When you get news that's that bad and it's already gapped down 30%, you will get covers. And then you're just going to have an explosion at the open sometimes. And that's a phenomenon we've been seeing time and time again. It's just about the trade sometimes more than the fundamentals because everything about the report was ugly, right? Like demand, your revenue forecast gets cut in half. Not a good look. They're late to the game with their vaccine, unfortunately for them. So when they crossed the finish line, it was way too late. And now they're feeling that pressure. I don't know where this might be a buy, but this morning it was just about that early 9:30 squeeze that we often see with these highly shorted names that gap down.
I see you in there, inverse for S&P. Okay, perfect. So SPXU is one that's 3 times levered, if you could see this. So that's, you can see the NASDAQ here. Well, this is the ES. So the ES right now is down 0.67, and this is up 1.95. So, ES this is a good one. Another one is SDS is another one. This is double, although this one's, so that's still SPXU. SDS, this is double. See how you can see the NASDAQ or the S&P is only up right now, down 0.67, so that's a double. So SDS and SPXU, SGL, those are ones that you could do. And if you really wanted an inverse for the NASDAQ, like we already talked about this a couple times today, I traded the TQQ today. I prefer, it's just triple levered, so I prefer it. But, if you want something that's inverse, like you mentioned there, I would just trade these guys. I mean, they're not super expensive. SQQ, there's probably a lot of traders on our chat because we do have the best chat, in the country, basically, for trading. So you can double check that. Free, by the way. Like, we're not, what's the point of charging you guys when you're the ones here making all the content and watching us? So thank you for that. But this is another one. Look, 4.28% up. So if you think that tomorrow is going to be nasty, then you're asking the right questions right now, because these are the right ETFs to get into. So the NASDAQ down 1.4, times that by 3, and you're at that 4.5, right? So that's the SQQ. So thank you for that question, and I really appreciate it, because I know there's a lot of traders out there that are probably thinking the same thing. So thank you, SGL, in the chat for that mention there. So just so we're all on the same page here, I am holding this trade I'm holding all of these all day now. So I want to hold Meta until we take out 168. I'm going to hold Amazon until we take out 138. I'm going to hold Palantir, who cares? I'm going to hold Shopify until we take out 37. So I just think the market's negative the rest of the day here. So why am I going to get out? I mean, I've already scalped out half of pretty much all of these trades. So I'm going to do something different for myself. I'm actually going to sit here and try my best, sit on my hands. I'm still going to look for trades. Oh, we're still doing NVAX? Fahad, you got to update me what we're doing here. I'm going to sit on my hands the rest of the day, most likely. But it's a good thing that we're talking about squeeze stocks, Brendan, because we have a few of those.
Microsoft, guys, just it's not really moving, but there was a volume spike there on this note. More cost cutting, specifically for teams and travel as well, travel expenses. So it's a Wall Street Journal just coming out with a few headlines there on Microsoft, but you can see a bit of a spike on volume, but didn't actually do anything. Yeah, let's talk some of these squeeze stocks. I mean, BBBY was pretty epic to the downside today. So was VRNA, not a squeeze stock, had its own news, but just absolutely collapsed. VRNA, I mean, there's BBBY, there's even Hellbiz, guys, struggling at day lows right now.
Yeah, I mean, these were okay in the morning. If you caught some of these.
No, I said I wouldn't put a bid on, and I did, but so I just got out of another third of my Meta, but go ahead.
No one ever got, well,
yeah,
but you did say you were going to hold it.
No risk.
No risk, no Rari.
No risk, no Rari.
But if you don't put an order out, you don't get a fill. That was the other thing, too.
No risk, no 1984 Civic.
1984 Civic.
Did they even make those?
That's way too old.
The Honda
first
Civic?
Car. Why am I? My first car was a 1988 Mazda 626. It was like a light blue.
That would qualify.
$500. My dad made me buy. It doesn't even matter. My dad made me buy the car off of him for $500. I'm not even sure it was worth that much money, but it was cool. Now that VRNA, I did trade this, but the pre-market was. Sometimes the pre-market is the best trade for these, and there's just no way around it. It broke 1250 at like 8:30 in the morning right when we're coming on. Runs to 15 even. You try and take that same long after the open. It pops to 13 and fails for the rest of the day. And that's been almost everything I can find that had a pretty solid spike. You know, it made that top sometime in the first half an hour, and then you're reversing. Microsoft did a pretty valiant effort on big cap, but the smaller names here, they all tended to give it up. You're all working into the downside, probably all at these lows as well. I know APDN was making some late moves. That was certainly one that it did have a chance, and I had APDN after the halt. It looked like it had a chance to go. I was sort of scalping it out, taking some on the high, trying to hold for a break of 6 even, and then it broke down and is now sitting off of these lows. If there's one out there, small caps, I like them in the afternoons, the ones that are strong running into highs and showing some strength, the squeeze names. Just not really seeing a heck of a lot this afternoon that is holding up. Everything I look at pretty much gave up the ghost either this morning or at lunchtime and is just hanging out at those bottoms. Hopefully volume can come into 1 or 2, and then you can have some breakout trades for the afternoon, which usually you've got. I just don't see any of them today.
Yeah, so no risk, no Renault, because right there we have a nice little bid there on Bed Bath & Beyond. We marked this down on the sticky notes. So if you're following at Trader TV, Sean, you would have probably seen this. We got that 10 long, and then we're getting them out here. It was actually 10.25, so came right in and actually stopped right on us. We were able to get filled, and then we took it all out, held that. I think that was probably 20% out for flat again. So we were able to hit it and quit it and actually get out of the way. So it's obviously it's not up 96% today. We talked about some bad quotes that hit our system right at the open. So, anyways, you can see it's been a nice little move to the downside. And if you're going to look at Bed Bath & Beyond, I mean, right now, I wouldn't even trade it in here. This is kind of in the middle again. You have the upside. By the way, Neil was practicing golf, and I think aggravated his back. So I feel bad because I don't have a bad back, and I know
I'm not like I don't want to pretend or anything.
No, but like when
it
you go to
actually,
bed tonight, yeah, I know.
It legit hurts right now. So it is what it is.
Man,
Like
why were you doing that? Damn you, Greg!
Greg showed me something with your front knee, and I saw it, and I was able to figure it out. I'm like, yo, this is how you're supposed to backswing in golf, because I was always doing it wrong. And now I'm like, I should take this to the course. He had his clubs here. I was doing a few swings, and I have a bad lower back when it comes to rotations, and I've aggravated something, and it hurts right now. So if you see me doing all of that, that's all it is. So I apologize for that. You're going to see a little bit of it because right now it sucks. And I'm not taking, you don't take pain medication while you trade, because I'm like a sucker with that stuff.
Yeah, the Neocitrin wipes you out, you were saying. So
there's a true story about me. Like I took Neocitrin the day before like an exam in university because I was feeling sick, and I couldn't even wake up the next day. Like I had this weird like. Wow. Yeah, it works way too effectively.
That's good though. That's better. I wish that worked like that for me for sure. Apparently, an earnings leak on H&R Block.
Oh,
so,
for the love of God.
But then it was leaked, and then the page was taken down. So people are trying to go through the intraweb to find out what exactly it was. And then, I mean, Brendan's probably going through this, but apparently there's a $1.25 billion buyback. There's a dividend increase of 7%, which is not that big. But anyways, H&R Block to the downside, just in case you're wondering if it's showing up on any of your screeners. That was one thing. Everyone's talking about AERC right now, so let's have a quick.
I know that. Yeah,
we've traded this before. Again, this is one of those names that was like a huge price and then came right. Come on, let's go. Why is it showing the NASDAQ? Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, there it is. So this was a big name at one point. Yeah, this was one that went absolutely nuts, up to $115 at one point. Yeah, there it is. Oh no, that's not even the move. Here it is right here on IPO. I believe it was one of those. No, there's a story with this one. This is AeroClean, so I don't know if it was like a SPAC or something like that, but I don't believe it actually came out here at 85. I don't know if it was a spin-off of something, but there is a story with AeroClean. So, and there it goes today, up now 37, 38%, and still going. Wow, great trade. Like, I don't know how you guys are identifying these so early if you're in this, but that started to break out basically at 130 and then just kept on going. Let's have a quick look here at some possible levels. You are running in. You got to get, I mean, again, you know, it's not, I'm not going to do the whole Prad thing. This is not financial advice. Like, we can give advice on what we think about a stock. It's just like, it's coming up right now to 7. And this level right here, even 650, there is some consolidation back to 27, 28, 29. What we mean by not giving advice is that we don't know anybody's risk tolerance or anything like that. So if I say I'm buying something, that's my own account, and I'll try to explain to you why we're buying it. But I don't know what you want to do with this, but that's a risk and a Rari today on AERC. So a big move to the upside right here. I think you're running into some resistance. You may want to look at this and empty some pockets, and then you could always reload it. Like, you know, what's wrong with getting out at 20%? But anyways, AERC, a beautiful move to the upside. Not really anything on the minute chart. It's just Rip City right now. So I don't know. No need to get out, to be honest with you.
And it's 15% shorter depending on where you look at it, with a 5 to 7. The floats on these, when I look at Float Checker, anywhere from 4 million to 7 million is the float.
Yeah, wow.
Which tiny is all you need to know. It's a very, very small float. I think the trend is pretty good, and it's going parabolic, but there hasn't been any kind of like death candles. It's run stops at least twice for 6 shorts and then 5. Usually it's a third time when I would look for shorts. And by the way, I did something just now that I didn't do yesterday. Like yesterday I was shorting NVIDIA into 176 in the afternoon, and I didn't reverse it when it broke the level. And it ended up going like a couple of dollars. This time, NVIDIA breaks VWAP and that 170.50 that's been resistance, and I was shorting in front of it. I did get one out there for profit, and now it's reversed, and now I'm going to work the long side of the trade. I do want to have both ends. The NASDAQ is trying to hold 13,000, and if it does, something out of the tech space other than Microsoft is going to be strong. And if this can hold out from this level here, you've got room back into 172 for this to run. And it did the same thing in yesterday's trade. And I was shorting the same, like sort of a lower high in NVIDIA, and I just got out when it took 176 and then just watched it go another $2 to the upside. Maybe you can try to make the same move here. 170 is sort of that easy line in the sand on the way back in.
Before CoinDesk or Coinbase there. I'm long AERC. I took that bid through $6, $6.50, sorry. So we just got long $6.50. My first out's going to be literally 75 cents. I'm sitting there at the quarter. See if that hits again to the upside. I did see somebody talking about resistance at 728. That's similar to those levels that we were looking at before. But I'm going to get out. So my sort of strategy here for this name, it seems like I might have paid. Like this is a kind of the first area here. We're kind of struggling now to get through this. I mean, we have to look at this over for 1 minute, but I was kind of just looking like, you know, getting out on some of these bottom wicks here. I mean, I know it's pretty conservative to do that, but you know, let's just see. If my first target, here we go. My first target's going to be 25 cents. I feel like that's, get up. Let's go. Oh, we just missed that, but hopefully that comes up to 75 one more time. I'd hate for, you know where that stopped at, guys? 74. So I'm at 75. Like you can see the high of the day is 74. So that sucks. Hopefully that can come up and test that high one more time and just blow right through it. But right now your boy is long on AERC and we just missed the out by a penny. So I'm debating putting it there at 70 now. But I mean, really, what's the difference? I think it's going to go if it's going to go or not. So right there, that would really suck if we missed that high and that might have just happened to us.
It's still strong though.
Oh, it's still strong. I'm pretty sure it's going to hit. It's just when you're sitting there, I'm sitting there for a reason to get filled. And then all of a sudden, it comes up to my order and stops. So there you go. Obviously not stop hunted or anything. There's tons and tons. That's not my stop. So there's tons and tons of liquidity going through, but that sucks. We just spit in the face of 25 cents there. I hope that doesn't drop back in and we get, look at this. We're going to get taken out now. Okay. Anyways, AERC, let's hope for a moonshot from here because that was a little bit of bad luck.
I think it's got like a chance. I mean, even that $6 when it pulls back, that could just be a dip buy opportunity. Give it to like 560 or so. I like dip buys, and I like this $6 if it tries to come in here. So you've convinced me. I feel like we're supposed to be talking about Coinbase, but no one's told me that we have to do that just yet. So my focus is going to be trying to pick up a bit of a bid there. Watch out, like Merck, by the way. When I took profit on Merck, I just wanted to show you. I decided, well, not that I decided. I was saying, you get that first move in. If it doesn't make a retest anywhere close to those lows, I wasn't going to average back in. I just got out, moving it from 89 to stop into 88.80, and now it's actually testing back higher. If it gets to something crazy like $90, I'd fade that. Like if it goes back to when the news came out, it's one thing it goes positive and reclaims the support level. But if it goes all the way to the high of the day, I'd probably try to re-enter the trade to be sure. It just doesn't make any sense that it would trade above where it was before the news dropped if that were to happen over there on Merck. But AERC, it's even now catching a bit. It can't even get past the quarters right now. Like there's buyers along the way here that just keep stepping up for like a few thousand shares at a time. So this still looks relatively strong. Capitulation candle like that, usually you'd pull back like 1-to-1 pretty quickly and then have some people testing. Not a lot of people are dumping this thing right now, it seems.
Yeah, I'm still, upset about getting that one. Okay, Coinbase. Let's go over quickly to Coinbase as we can check out on crypto. Right. I mean, crypto today, I guess it's been pretty consistent all day. We did have that dump out early down to 23. We talked about that. We said that sent Coinbase reeling. And ever since then, it's been pretty basic, 23,150 down to 23. So, you don't often see BTC in $150, $200 range. So that would make a lot of sense if I look here at Coinbase. Let's just do that really quickly. It's still on my AERC chart, which I'll probably get stopped out of that very soon. But there it is. We are stopped out now. That sucks because that was really close. Like that should have been a winner for us there, but it wasn't. We would have only taken out 20% anyways at that level. So, not super upset about it. There goes AERC, like I just mentioned there. We got out on 620 break. So now we'll see. Maybe that was the bottom. We could reload this thing if it comes back down there. Maybe one more test on AERC for that, but that could be something. We'll see down there. Okay, Coinbase. So let's just quickly look at Coinbase quickly. Big move downside for Coinbase today. Obviously, off that we just showed you Bitcoin, but it's been pretty much a downward trend. Remember, Coinbase, I think is tonight, isn't it? Or tonight. Yeah. So we still have some Coinbase worries coming through, hopefully at some point. But that's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to stay away now heading into the power hour for Coinbase. I've already sort of dug my made my decision here on what we want to do with all these names. So we're going to continue to be short Meta, Amazon, all these. But for Coinbase, very, very interesting day for tomorrow, man. We've seen some crazy moves up in Coinbase lately, including that last move up to 115 right there on some news. I don't even remember what the news was, but some sort of a deal with somebody. But a nice move up for Coinbase, and then it just got faded that day, and it's just hanging around 80 bucks. So we'll see. Does Coinbase retest 60 bucks tomorrow? It has to be a pretty bad report for that to be the case.
It's weird. I actually don't remember what the specific news was either, but I'll just point out a few things. Like MSTR is flat, barcoding down 3%. Mara, if you're watching some of these other names, like Mara actually is holding flat on the day. It's actually trading above VWAP in a better trend. Coin it felt like this was going to be weak, and I have one trade, and it was too tight a stop. And at the time, I actually opened it up and gave it a little bit more room when I took the short. I should have just come back in when it failed at 91 level. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it again. It feels like people are risk off going into this, but I'll tell you this right now. Guaranteed, if this thing, regardless of what the earnings are, if it gaps down 20%, I'm probably going to be thinking the exact same way about this as I did about Upstart and Novavax, where it's like if it can't break the lows, I only can think about one thing, and that's going the other direction for Coinbase. You got to be watching this tomorrow. It's been entirely too volatile the last couple of days not to. I still think AERC has a chance. I want to give it into this range. So I did take something at 12s. I had another bid that didn't get hit in there. A little bit lower, up in front of 6 even. So I was at like 602. Didn't get that fill, so I'm going to take more in the teens if I can and try and play this back into the high. I think it's going to have a bit of a wide berth here. So I want to try to give it a little bit of room, but I didn't really get fully in there at all. NVIDIA does seem like it's made that nice little bottom. I went for a bit of a reload, and I should have done it a second time in there. I'm going to pop a bit if I can get like 170, like 30s or 40s, and see if I can't get in some more NVIDIA. Because now the NASDAQ is held 13, and this is trying to break back out. I saw it do it yesterday. I want to see if it can try to go again here this afternoon. But remember, it's down 4% and under pressure. I just think after it flipped, it was a pretty clean trade, and I want something long just to see if we can get higher. I want to get back into Microsoft, but then they had that little news that Brennan mentioned. It came out. It tanked $1. I got stopped out of the 82 long. I'd like to see that back above that 82 level first.
I was just looking at Microsoft and was like, maybe I should go long, and I was thinking almost the same thing there, that, maybe not because of that Teams news, cutting travel expenses and whatnot. I don't know. We can look at that. Shopify, we're still in. We did take a little piece out there on Amazon because the market's starting to rip. So the only thing I got out was I got out that Meta that I told you about, just one part of it, and I did get out a one piece Amazon as well there at that bottom as the market trying to make that move back up to the upside one more time. So yeah, there goes Amazon back through 60s, and yeah, market looks like it wants to rip. We're back in that AERC, but again, looks like it'll probably break $6 here. So that one, nothing there until it rips, and if it doesn't, then that will be gone on AERC. One last chance against that level. We have Win reporting tonight, so maybe if there was something here in the casino space, I still like Win, and I think it's actually performed okay here off the bottoms, and so we're going to see, there it is, AERC breaking back down again. Boo, yeah, it just broke 6. So we'll get out of AERC. That's hilarious that I missed that print by literally half a penny. Like, it printed 74.30s or something. Some dark pool stopped it there. But okay, Win tonight. I think it's going to be a good report. We're going to have to see what they say about Macau. Obviously, as monkeypox, as COVID keeps on coming through, Win is going to be an interesting name to look out for. I still like that stock, so anybody that's in that, I think it's going to be a good one. And I also think we could take out that top if the market starts to rally. It's only down 0.35, so watch out for 65.80 or so here on Win to take that off. It came all the way up here. That should be a good little look for it. It's in the pre-market with no volume, but 65.80 there for Win, as it's been just representing this 50 period. Nothing but love for the upside for WYNN. They do report, so cautious on that.
Speaking of upside, MTC with the halt here. Just going to quickly double check. I mean, when it's halted, the first thing you do is try to figure out what's going on with the name. I didn't really...
It's one of those Chinese names, isn't it?
Yeah, like I haven't traded this one here today. I know it's a tiny float, just confirming. It's about 2 million on the float. That's why. It's done less than 1 million shares on the session. So even when this reopens, anything that's done less than 1 million going into the halt, you then have it's a pure liquidity issue here. So it's halted 368, indicated opens 368. there's not going to be a ton of liquidity on this one, so you might see consecutive halts. But yeah, this was this is the one from last week. Okay, so this one already went up to like $9, been dying ever since. You're going to have a lot of bag hold levels back in, like $4.55. Every 50 cents as it just opened up here is going to be a little bit of trouble. So if it can hold above that halt price, that's the key. Like when you halt and you get 368 and open flat, it's all about holding above that price. ADPN had trouble doing it. I think that's why it lacked some juice, but this is looking like it wants to make that play. So, you're going to get me in here. You're going to make me, no one's making me take it. But I'm going to try to get on this bid about the 75 level, give it to that wick bottom. There is a $4 break setting up. I think that's more of a scalp into that. As I said, I was trying to get the breakout trade in. I just got it at 01s. This is more of a play into that 450. If you take the trade off 375, you're scalping some out and then you're holding to 450. You got yourself a better entry point. Now suddenly I'm going back to that 75 and halt price and saying to myself that can almost be entirely too far. But when I look at that 15-minute chart, I'll go quickly again to it. Every 50 pennies, there's resistance on this. 455, 556. So you got to be paying yourself out there. I just got some in the teens. I'll take some more out in the quarters, and I'll definitely get more out at that 450 because the volume was so tight on this that the rug pull could be quick and severe. Now that it's given two legs, if it wants to turn, I'm not letting this thing go below 390. It's still only done 1.4 million in volume. So the volume kicked in and it doubled up on volume, but super tiny float. You've seen these rug pulls. I'll try to hold some here, but MTC, always go to that higher time frame. When in doubt, zoom out. Pure technical sort of concept there. And it gave you, once I saw 455 for resistance, then the $4 break makes a little bit more sense because psychologically, you know the range is going to work, but it's having trouble at that quarter. You can see I've gotten some out in front and some behind the quarter, and now we can see if it has any sustainability there. If it does plunge back in and I stop out 90s, there's still a chance it can hold that halt price, but that would be a separate trade. So MTC, I said there weren't any of these low floaters running, and then suddenly we get two of them. Like ARC starts to go, although it's dying now, probably going to end up getting stopped out myself. I'm at 95, just to be. It stopped at, went to 95, and my stop's actually at 94. It went to 595. I found with the ones, if the spread's big enough, or if it's just whippy enough, I'm finding I'd just rather risk the extra 5 or 10 cents to try to stay in the trade. You end up losing more when you're wrong. There's zero question about that. But this whipsaw action gets crazy there. Nvidia is now testing 171 again as the market's trying to bounce. Yeah. So I'm going to try and take some more out in front of 171, see if we can't hold for a bigger move as well. This is going to put Amazon under some pressure at that 138 level. Every chart has these wicks on it, but you can see the channel in Amazon pretty cleanly. This has been 138 to 137 since 1030. Since 1030, all this stock has done is go up to the high 38 and back down to 137. I mean, sometimes if you can't figure out the range, I don't know what you're looking at. Brendo?
More on the FDA note for Merck, guys, on that carcinogen in their diabetes drug. Down here, I mean, they say a whole bunch, but down here they say it would not object to the temporary distribution of the drug containing the impurity above acceptable levels. So even though they've found it, essentially, it sounds like they're saying it's fine to continue with it until they come up with a fix.
Right.
Yeah, so that's...
Okay, so
it's not that.
Still don't really know what that means, but okay. We'll watch out for Merck. So, I mean, I understand what it means, but for the stock, we'll watch out for MRK. So thanks, Brendan, for breaking that news. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? I mean, I saw Merck starting to go to the downside. We talked about the cancer drug, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully that'll be something there to watch out for. All right, so as the market comes back up to the upside, man, we just went long on Meta? Okay, I didn't know if we wanted that exactly, but all right, so I'll probably have to look out for Meta trying to go back up to the upside right now. I must have had 2 stop orders there. I wanted Meta to go short, obviously. We talked about that and why we like the Meta short, but now the NASDAQ is starting to blow a little bit more to the upside here. So let's take some out. And again, this is like, we just have a little more shares than we thought we'd have. So as this goes to the upside, again, you know, we're trying to protect some of these moves. I just, you know, it's happening again. Like every afternoon you get into this chop, and it's just like chop, 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 and then eventually there's a move, and like I was saying, remember I was talking about trolling and things like that, and it's just like, I don't know, let's just see where we're going to go from here. I mean, hopefully the market continues to make a move as we break that high. So I feel like the right way to be now would be long, but this is why, and I can't say this enough, and we do it all the time on this show. We talk about like, trying to position yourself properly, play relative strength, relative weakness, and just try to figure out the trend. If there isn't one, you don't have to be in these names, right? Like you can just chill out, see what happens with these stocks, and then go from there. So like even here on Amazon, we're trying to give this a little bit of room up to 138. That's where I reloaded this stock. We're short at 80. So at most it's going to be like a 20, 25 cent hit. Okay, Meta's starting to go a little bit more now. So like I said, I don't really have any targets as the market is starting to go upside, but I am of the belief, and we're going to put Meta's one of the top stocks for me today. So we are going to put this one into our pipe here and smoke it a little bit because, take the profit when it's there. There goes some more upside in Meta. So short, short, short until it's a long, and then we push the long, and we're out. Meta now long on this name. It looks like I don't know if it's a smart move to be long Meta, short Amazon, but that's what we are right now. We're going to have to relook at that, but Meta, a 25-cent winner. We meant to reverse long. We just have too many shares.
There's no longs in Amazon unless 138 goes. I mean,
right.
that's what since 1030, that's been resistance. Like you could have scalped longs into that, but until it breaks, other things are breaking back out. Like I said, like Nvidia broke resistance, that just went to the upside. I just saw Micron break 59 back into the upside. That's looking like it's relatively strong there. 171 on Nvidia, by the way, it continues to try to struggle at that level. So every time it goes there, I'm going to take some profit. I've finally gotten back into Microsoft. After like Brendan came with I think it was the Teams news, it flushed back into 81s. It looked like it was a good buy down there at 81s, but I'm waiting till it goes back, reclaims the breakout, because that was the trade I was looking for, was that breakout at 282. We get above there, get above that resistance. Let's start playing into some of those levels from yesterday on Microsoft. It's been the strongest, well, it's been one of the strongest names in the market. I don't want to say the strongest name because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I've looked at every single stock in the NASDAQ. Maybe there's something else out there. But Softy up almost 1% and has been strong all afternoon. The high right now is 282.50. Taking some out in front of there. Got an 82.15 long. So Microsoft, Nvidia alongside. I got stopped out of that MTC, which I should have just taken it all out for the scalp trade. It got to 427 on that 4 break, and then came right in, stopped out at 390, and then it ends up holding. As I'm getting shares of Microsoft, it ends up holding that whole price, but I missed that entry point. Brendo?
Just watch Tesla here, guys. There's a move downside on volume. Apparently, there's a video circulating of their full self-driving, or their latest release of FSD, which contained some significant errors. So a heads up on Tesla moving downside right now.
All right, yeah, I did see someone talking about that. Meanwhile, we'll spin the money because there goes Meta. Nice little move to the upside here. It's 40 cents in the money now on that 168 break. Like Neil said, we are still watching out for Amazon breaking that level. It's just Tesla's going to be, my negative stock of the day, and it's crazy because we were short right there, but that self-driving unit, I mean, we'll have to wait to see that video. I mean, we don't have to wait to see the video if that's what it is. That is a nice little move down as it breaks VWAP, but technically if it's going to be on a story, then it's not going to, you can't really look at some of these lines, but there it is, a nice little move back up there for Tesla. So I think we leave it alone now until we hear more about that, because that's one of their big thing, right? Ooh, we're signing Jackie Bradley Jr. Is that any good? He's washed up. I thought that guy was...
He can't hit, man.
Right, okay. Anyways.
He's got a big arm and a great glove, but he can't hit.
Thanks, Blue Jays, for that one. But anyways, what I was going to say about Tesla was the fact that, we're just going to wait for Tesla to make a move.
Oh, never mind. At first, I'm just like, how in the hell did you see that?
No, it's on my phone.
Oh, the notification.
Yeah, the notification came on my phone because I follow the Jays, so it came up on the score.
We have a lot going on. If you see, it got screens and charts and all this other stuff out there.
And I'm breaking sports. I'm breaking Blue Jays signings.
Although,
yeah,
Brendo.
Brendo.
So this is the video. It's a safety engineer who has put this video out showing that, the cars don't stop, apparently, when they... I mean, they're just dummies, let's be honest, but the cars don't stop. So it's a bit of a hit video, it looks like, on Business Insider on Tesla's FSD software.
Oh,
Man, I mean,
Come on, son.
yeah, come on. I mean, come on. Okay, first of all, AERC on the way back up. I mean, look, Tesla's tanking, so Brendan's got the news.
I know,
and you found it here first, or
feel.
you heard about it here first. So thanks to Brendan for that one. We'll go over to Tesla, but AERC, we are long again down here at 07. So we took some profit there at 20s or something like that. We'll see if we can take a profit at 30. But let's just go back over to Tesla quickly, because now with that video out, you know, it's pretty clear that that car was just ramming over whatever it was in its way. I laugh because I don't know, like, who knows, man? Maybe that guy turned off whatever it was. I doubt, you know, with that many units of those cars on the road, and this is the first time we sort of heard about something like that. For me, my sort of whatever lights up there, my warning signals or whatever, that there could be something fugazi about that. So,
but I will say this.
Let's wait to see.
And this is not, I don't want to bash Tesla here, but hey, if you're looking for somebody who actually has licenses for like robo-taxis, like who's got automated driving to the point where they're able to use them in some places. Last I checked, it was Waymo and Cruise. So shout out to you, Alphabet and GM. You're actually ahead of the curve apparently when it comes to that. But Tesla, the price action speaks for itself.
Yep.
I mean, I can sit here and be a little bit skeptical and not understand the circumstances surrounding that test, but the price action is Tesla is weak and it's heading back in toward those lows. Let's see if we can find support. It found support at 840. Not the time, 840 the price, just after afternoon here. So as it screams down, can it find some support? This has the potential to stall the move a little bit that the market was making, the ES. So, you know, maybe pay yourself out in some of those longs. They were looking really good, and then all of a sudden, like Microsoft pulled back a tiny little bit, NVIDIA pulled back a tiny little bit there. I'm with Sean on AERC. Pay yourself here. They're selling at 640. After that wick off top, it made a high at 640 on that first dip down into 6 even. That was a 644 top. Same high right now, 644, 645. So if it gets through that, I think we retest the highs. If it never does, we're probably testing VWAP. Somebody's selling shares 40s to 45s pretty clearly on AERC.
Yeah, so we've just taken cuts on this name, but then we're able to make it back, right? I mean, you take little small 15, 30, 40 cent hits, and then now you're in a 35-cent winner. So it's basically just kind of my losses from the beginning. But we'll see. I mean, this could fade right back down in. You saw what happened to MTC. It was a great trade, and then it came right back. So the same thing could happen right here for AERC again on that. Yeah, people love phase, right? We talked about that. I'm not going to like throw shade on these guys like the way Brad does. I don't know enough about them to do that. But if you're going to look at this stock, I mean, it's been a nice runner up to 19 and change. And then, you know, I don't have to tell you about the parabolicness of this today. I mean, 14 all the way up. That is going to be about right, 32%. That makes sense as we start the day at 1350 and we're at 19 now. So a nice little move to the upside here for phase. And again, you know, if you're just going to look at these names, it's hard to look at it on a daily because it's so brand new. So I would just say, you know, maybe 15, 14, like we're well off of that now. I just think these are hard games to play. We're not sitting here, guys, pumping the chat up so everyone gets long and then therefore we can exit our trade. Like I can't, you know, manufacture volume or anything like that. I'd actually have to take the trade. So, you know, I'm going to wait on this name. I don't have that much interest in it. When the spread is literally 14 cents and I trade all the big boys, which have like 1 or 2 cent spreads, it's not in my wheelhouse to do this, but I know there's been a lot of money made on phase today, so thanks for bringing it up in the chat. And yeah, you're right, CC. Tomorrow's perfect trading strategy, Sean. Yep. Okay, I don't know what I said, but yeah, I think that's about right. You know, we have lots of different strategies, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Okay, here comes AERC again to that upside one more time. So I was actually waiting. I thought, did I just get filled there? No, I thought, how many shares do I have? Okay, no, my order didn't go out. So I was waiting here at 50, so let's just put an offer now at 50, because I thought that's where I was. We'll get there we go. We just get a 46. It literally runs us over there. So we get a 46, and that is a 35-cent winner there, or yeah, 40-cent winner, sorry, on AERC. So, hey. You know, take your shot back in there, and you know, sometimes you get rewarded. So that's it right now. Let's see if we can't go moving forward on AERC. Aero clean. Let's see if it takes 7.
Yeah, that's the next level. I think if it gets through this 645 to 50 chop and then can test those highs, it should make a test at 7 even. Forget about 75s. It's gone there once. The seller is right here below 50. But NVIDIA, I'm watching NVIDIA. It's kind of barcoding off this 170, 150. So not holding up for 72s anymore. I'll take some out between 71 and 71.50 where I have not had offers out just yet. But I wanted to point out we've talked about the chip makers themselves, but look at something like an AMAT. Like there's the other end of that coin, like your Lambs of the world, your ASMLs. AMAT was even weaker than Micron or Nvidia today. Just got smoked, down 8%. And I'm done. Like I always tend to ignore this when it comes to looking at trades in the sector. But look where it's trying to bounce. If you look at these channels in here, 102 to about 99 is the bottom end of the channel when it broke down and then held resistance, and that's where it's trying to find support. If we open up below this, AMAT has a world of downside into that 80 even. You're likely to close below the 50 period as well. Down 8%, that shocked me. I was looking at my quote board, I was like, what? Do we have the close price wrong like some of our other symbols today? And no, we do not. They are definitely outpacing to the downside some of the other names in the sector. I would assume ASML is making some power moves to the downside there. Yeah. Jose, thank you for the super chat. Disagree on AERC. Every time it has news, it goes 100%. Not, I guess we are late.
Disagree on AERC. Every time it has that news, it goes 100%. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, who knows? I hope, I mean, 100%. What is the news on AERC, by the way? So it's 43%. So I don't know. 43%, we started at $4, so that means it's going to 8.
But if it gets 7,
is what?
Look, if it gets 7, wow. 8 to 8, like this previous low 830 probably is the next level up. So you know, close at 450, that's about right. Okay, but it needs to break resistance here.
And by the way, Amazon right now on a pretty big reload for me, man. I was enough is enough on this. We reloaded Amazon, and I just, you know, like when Neil and I agree, like, you know, it's not going up until it breaks 138. I mean, if it's going to go to 80s, then I'm going to take it. I obviously would have been much better to get a 138 print, but we'll take the 80 and we'll just start to cash it out, man, as it goes. Oh, hell yeah, AERC. Let's go, baby. There we go. Bang right there as we spin the wheel on AERC, and we'll go rocket ship upside. Hopefully ATER can go for my man Fahad over there soon enough. But there it is, AERC. We put that back in our pipe and we smoke it. Thank you for that, Jose, as that's going right back up to the upside. So pretty proud of the reload, at least down there. I mean, I wish we didn't have that dump out, as it just barely broke 6. There it went down to that stop price that Neil had of 95. But we did get stopped out there, and then we just loaded it back in, and then there's the profit take on AERC.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to take 7. Once we're over 7, I'm going to probably trail it to about 660. Otherwise, I want to give it back to where that seller was at 640s. That will be that next support level for AERC. Brendan, what do you have for us, buddy?
Just saw a big volume spike on, well, Smile Direct's $1.15. I had no idea, but you can see big volume spike there on SDC, guys, down 10.5% off earnings, but yeah, apparently it's $1.15 now for Smile Direct.
I canceled my bids this morning.
All of that. Oh. I got kids, man. They're going to need to get their teeth fixed up at some point, you would think.
But how effective is it? I don't know how effective
I think the problem, so, you know what, Brendan's like sort of saying like, oh yeah, by the way, it's at $1.15, but that's actually a nice little bump. I mean, STC here, as I looked at the daily chart, it was down by $1, and actually, wow, you want to talk about supporting $1. How many, like, this should have been a free money play. By the way, there goes AERC.
I was on the bid
through 7.
So it bottom is 106?
No. Oh, today.
No, today I had bids at 1, 2, 3, and 4 in case it tested the dollar. It just never filled today, unfortunately. But yeah, when stocks support $1, just do the Mullen trade, man. Like, it's not that hard to do. You know where you're wrong. You just find the support, and then you're catching 10%
I mean, look how good that was at the bottom.
Yeah, that's 10% a bunch of days in a row, and the day it squeezes, you get 20 or 30. And you know where you're out. It's just don't hold it through the low if you do it, because then it's at 80 cents and you lose.
Of course, by squeezes, you meant squoze.
Oh, yeah, I mean squoze.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. As things start to squoze.
Yeah, correct me every time, it's squoze.
Yeah, of course. And that was funny. That day that Brad was talking about that was hilarious. Okay, so Meta's one of my top stocks for a reason, and that's because we just got the heck out of Dodge on Meta there. So as this market started to come back in, we got out. Oh, we still have a piece. Oh, we have a very small. We just got part filled there. Come on. Anyways, in Meta there on a big trade, and now we have a very, very small piece. We got out right there, 168.12, man. Like, the minute that broke, we've already gotten some outs right there. We got out. I mean, that's part of when now we're out of Meta anyways, but that's part of the short on Amazon, right? Like, the minute I got these Amazon shorts and it started to print, I was like, no, thank you. Definitely didn't want a part of the long anymore because you saw the market. We already talked about it sort of going up and down in like one of these helicopter markets where it's just, or what is probably called a kangaroo market, just jumping around there.
Hop.
Yeah, hop along. So I tend to agree with that assessment. Heading into what's going to be like an apocalyptic moment tomorrow, I really feel like this CPI.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, apocalypse now, baby. I feel like that tomorrow you're just going to have, there's so many people like me where I think that maybe we've seen the highest print, what was it, 9.1 last time, the core CPI, but
Imagine 10.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. There are a lot, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, like I'm sure a lot of you do as well, and it's kind of like a back and forth, a push and pull on what the CPI number is really going to say tomorrow. So I feel like no matter what comes out, it's going to be a pretty big mover and a pretty big market changing event tomorrow, and it could just lead the way for the rest of August into September until we get Fed speak. So, that's the thing. And then if it's way out of line, maybe we do get that surprise cut or not cut. Well, surprise cut would be insane. But
I think it's the more
of a 50% raise versus 25, 75.
Or the in-between meeting hike, which is
what was, it was 9.1 was the headline, right? What was core again? Someone saying? Anyways, we'll look it up. Brendan has that website.
Just very quickly though, because thank you guys for finding AERC here, but I'm back in it. This is a different trade, obviously, because you see my price is now 706. So I did get out. It's weird because this is me getting out of the 6 trade, and this is me getting in at 7 even. So this entry at 7 even, I'm giving back to like 680, and then trying to play 1-to-1, and then hopefully maybe 750s. At $8 level is the ultimate target, but it's starting to struggle. Right? It gave that one entry, which is me covering the initial trade, and it's struggling to hold above this 680 area. It could feel like it's gone a little bit too far, and it might have to retest lower. So this entry at the top might just have to get stopped out there at that 680 level. I reloaded Microsoft, then proceeded to instantly look a gift horse in the mouth, because at this point, it wants to reject that high of the day. So I'm dipping into 82s here each time, and then I should be taking some out quarters and 50s. In the event that we can take out the high of the day, which we've been unable to do there in Microsoft, it did have that negative news, which stalled the move a little bit, so I should be more aggressive taking it out. The only short I have is Amazon, and NVIDIA is also starting to show some signs of slowing down again. Now 171 is another problem. So I'm going to pop on here, see if I can't just get some out in front of 171. The last thing I want is we get a decent rally in the afternoon, trying to take out some of these highs, and then maybe continue that move, run into the resistance, and never break it. And if it never breaks it, then we're just going to get another one of those channel afternoons, in which case you've got to take out your profit before the highs, so that you can make some money and hold a piece in case it breaks out. So that's what we're looking at here. That means I have to start playing, getting some out here in NVIDIA 171, sort of back into that well. But AERC has been pretty good. I don't really see too much else. I mean, that last one was definitely, that MTC looked like it was probably done. Yep, confirmed, that one is done. Sometimes the only trade, either you're in early, you get the halt, or you scalp the break. This one looks like it's going to be done for the day. So probably right to have that tight stop. I wasn't really looking for shorts. I'm not even sure I paid for them, but it never got to the level I would have tried it anyways.
I love that. Not sure if I paid for. Yeah, we're so busy. Like we can't even keep track of like.
It was AERC I paid for, not this one.
MTC. Yeah. I think that's sort of a new name there. So big size there at 20. As you can see, AERC, we're now $1.20 in the money, so we'll floss off that one. It just sucks that we got stopped out because we could have had double the shares, but I don't think I would have punched long again anyways. So it's nice to make a little bit of money back here on AERC. I would say watch out for a rug pull through 680. So I'm going to have my stop at 680, I think, but I don't know. Let's just see if this one can run. I mean, we're only in now 20% of it, so we do take profit, as you know, on the show. We do have imbalances coming out soon, so when that hits, we'll let you know. It's only 313, so that's going to come out for a while. I like your NVIDIA trade because the same kind of thing's happening on AMD right now, as AMD is kind of trying to bounce off of VWAP and try to make that move back in now. So as some of these chip names made a little bit of a run to the north side, we still remain short. 50 cents in the money, Palantir. A paltry 15 cents, 1.5 now. I don't know who says poultry right there. There it is. Look, I just got an email about that Friends t-shirt giveaway from the Jays. That's hilarious. Okay, we talked about that on the early. Oh, Google near days high. Okay, thanks Quan Tran for that one on that move as well. But all right, look, I'm interested to hear what she has to say because I'm looking at the futures. I have to ask Steph, like maybe she could look at the NASDAQ futures for me at one point. But maybe that would be something for next time. But as far as I know, her specialty is on the S&P or oil.
Or let's go to Steph and find out. Maybe she does have something else.
Good afternoon. I'm back again. Sean, you asked, and here we go. So here is NASDAQ. So let's talk about what happened in NQ futures today and what levels to potentially watch out for tomorrow. Because, of course, again, I'm going to reiterate it, CPI is coming. So, again, same thing as ES, clear directional day to the downside. 13,000, key critical level. Up above that, we know that NQ in comparison to ES moves a couple hundred points a day for its daily range. So 13,100 and 13,200. 13,200 is a little bit more of a key critical level as opposed to 13,100. However, I do expect some resistance and trouble getting through those levels. On the downside, here you go, guys. This is a 30-minute chart that I have on. However, this is a little demand zone that I have on a 1 hour chart. So here we could be potentially seeing a bounce. If not, and there is strength and momentum to the downside, I have 12,800 as a level of support that we could be bouncing from and heading down to if we really want to cross through this demand zone here. Anyways, that's all from me, guys, and back to you.
Well, the thing I love about those
Demand zone.
I like demand zone because like you get good terminology, but then jumping back from the NASDAQ, and I'll tell you this right now, and I'm gonna out Stephanie a little bit because at the coffee machine we had a viewer that stopped by, so had a coffee, came to visit the floor, and we're just sort of talking trading, and Stephanie came by and grabbed the coffee. Good man, Cyril. It was fantastic meeting you if you're watching right now, but. We're talking about like oil futures, and the day oil went negative and just swapping stories. Stephanie jumps in, tells of a short that she had, talking about trading psychology. It is, like, trust me, the wealth of knowledge is definitely there. And whether it's oil futures, whether it's going to be the NASDAQ or the ES, the expertise is there. And what I love is tomorrow we get CPI. Well, what better time to draw a few lines on your chart that I can now steal, like that. That 28, which I'll throw it in. I made one, and then I was like, it came back to me before I could throw it in. But I like throwing these into my chart because then when I go back to it the next day, I don't have to think about it. Like I already know the key levels because I've been told by somebody who is a bit of an expert. So if I'm now trading like an equity into those levels, I can respect them. And we make those moves all the time where you want to be able to take profit. And then you're like, yeah, does it make any sense? What are the futures doing? Oh, there's a big fat line on my chart that I was given in the morning, and then next thing you know, you're banking that profit. I'm hitting that because we're bouncing on softy again. Take some out of those quarters, make sure we pay ourselves. NVIDIA is trying to bounce. Finally, NVIDIA chewing through that 171, heading up to 171.5. But as that's happening, it's like I look at the long starting to go back up and work, and little old Amazon, man, it just will not break 138. It will not break VWAP. Again, like if it doesn't get through 138, even tomorrow we'll be looking at that level. It just feels like it's destined to make a test of it. And Tesla, which had that news, or I guess the video that was released, whatever you want to call it, bounces off of 840. It's not all the way back, but it's back up to 847, so it's catching a bit of a bid here. I don't want to call it FUD because it's just a video. I don't know how the test was done. I'd love to see some details there for sure. Well, if they were trying to get long, they just got $10 better, so good for them.
Yeah. All right, SoFi CEO on another channel, something with a C and an N and something like that. I don't know. Ends in a BC, but on there right now. So watch out for SoFi on watch. I don't, again, like, you want to be able to take trades when they're actually happening. So this 740 break could be something there. It's actually 738. I mean, that's 740, 745. For me, no matter what, Anthony Noto, I guess is who it is, says there, I don't know. SoFi's got to break 750 for me to be interesting. So that's 750 right there. So watch out for that on SoFi. And guess what? No matter what, thanks, Stephanie. We will tell Stephanie. Bears vs. Bulls says you're doing a great job there, Stephanie. So thank you for that. As I look over, give her the thumbs up there. But okay, we're reloaded. You might have heard that. You might have not. We are reloaded right now, so let's go, because we're doing it again and again and again. And I mean, I feel I want to have those bangers for you. I do. I for sure do. But the problem is that I can't manufacture moves. I mean, if the market's not going to move, like what else? Honestly, look at this chart and tell me, other than not trade it, how else can I do this? Short and out, short again, out a whole bunch of times. We're out of 70%, and then we reloaded the short again. Like, if I'm gonna sit here and look at some of these names, we're short this whole way. Like, this is my Amazon day. This is what it looks like. I don't have anything else to tell you except for that. If it breaks through 138, we're gone. Until then, we'll just keep on reloading it. And honestly, as long as these bottoms keep on happening down here, then that's what I'm gonna try to wait for now, is these bottoms of 137.30 or so. So I'm done. I'm going to see if this market wants to fade out the rest of the day. The last take right now on Amazon. I'll probably get out of 30% of this trade at some point, right? How about right now? We'll take a piece out. If we can get a 70, why not do that? We'll take a 70 out. And again, this is why it's very, very different. You know, Neil and I, you and me, everybody out there, will all trade different share sizes, different risk tolerances. So just like you guys on AERC, Neil needs a haircut?
What?
Wow, okay. Randy.
This is not long.
Come on, Randy.
Come on, Randy.
Like, Randy goes in there and gets bicked out.
This is not that long, dude. Okay, fine. Like,
Randy,
maybe
you need a haircut.
I'll get one next week, man.
Yeah, Randy. Talking
What?
about haircuts.
I love Randy, but like
Damn.
he's just standing there like staring at my head uncomfortably, by the way.
Now the chat's
And
loving
now-
Randy. Like, all of a sudden, Randy
I
just
know.
shows up.
Randy in the house.
It's
Randy,
like-
did you see the Tesla
Yeah,
video?
what do you think about that Tesla there?
Do you see it?
Do you have any opinions?
There was a video, Tesla, just a short seller guy comes out with a video of like the Tesla on the full auto crashing into test dummies.
Did
And
not
it
see
didn't stop.
Did not see it.
If
So-
we can find it, we can throw it down again one more time.
I did not see it.
It's basically some dude just running over dummies when they're on autopilot. You heard of anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Send me a link.
All right.
We'll
All
send it
right.
to you.
So
Also
we'll.
made an announcement. There could be a plant coming to Ontario,
Ontario, California.
Ontario, Canada.
Ooh, very interesting. Okay, thank you. I'll send in my resume. Okay. I'll get this and I'll fix my.
No problem. Actually, the cool thing about Ontario, California, and it's not that cool, is Ontario, Canada, when you're sending mail, is ON and CA. And Ontario, California is ON and CA. I can't tell you the number of times I've had packages that have ended up somehow in California because the company screwed those two things up. Believe me, it happens all the time. I want to come to Moderna here just because it's catching an interesting, down 7%, catching a bit of a bid. Ooh, the long's starting to come back in here a little bit here.
Yes,
so I'll take
sir.
some more profit on Microsoft if it gets toward that high. Just going to pop on the offer in front of 50s. But Moderna's starting to creep up, down that 6. Obviously, maybe it's a bit of a sympathy play with Novavax getting under pressure, but this is one that's been strong, bouncing off its 50 period, trending back into the upside. I'm waiting for this to level off again, because the last time it leveled off, it showed a lot of signs of strength. So showing signs that it could be doing that at 170 instead of 150, which it was before. Brendo?
There's a volume spike here on SIGA, guys, up 1% here, but it looks like the health secretary, I'm just reading through this, it looks like the health secretary has made a 564 determination, whatever that is, which apparently will pave the way for emergency use authorization for monkeypox vaccines in general. It doesn't actually say anything about theirs specifically, but big volume spike here for SIGA.
Yeah, I saw it make that bottom there of $22 of SIGA, and then all of a sudden it started to go.
It's got to break 25. That's
Yeah, I mean, it's like that Novavax. I think it was Novavax too. I don't mean to pick on them because remember they finally got, whatever it was, FDA clearance,
It is
or
them.
I mean, there's a bunch of things about them now, and the stock actually tanked on that news. So I wonder if some of these are buy the rumor, sell the news. So just watch out. I mean, not to make that call, but if you are going to go long, we just stopped out there. We weren't in it, but the stock stopped at 22.75 right there. So, if you're looking for a break long, I always like to break long on new levels. So, taking out that 22.75. Otherwise, you just kind of sit in this trade right here and hope you don't get stopped out on a 22 break. So, a couple different ideas there for SIGA, SIGA. I don't think. Do you guys know? Does anybody actually know? Like, if it's SIGA, then
I meant to look it up,
Then
but I
put
didn't.
like cigarette or something that you know, is like that. Or Sega, I don't know, anything, what rhymes with Sega? That's actually a pretty
Sometimes you like something
That's actually
very
pretty-
simple.
how come I don't-
You put someone on the spot for something. It's like a simple question, and suddenly I can't do an easy rhyme.
Giga, I can't think of it, what rhymes with Sega.
Sega.
Anyways, there it is. It's Siga like cigarettes. There, someone said cigar. Okay, so it is Amiga. Yeah, Amiga, I guess. Yeah, good one.
Now some people
we're
are
not
trolling
speaking-
in there,
yeah,
by the way.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out what it is, what the pronunciation is. So, all right, let's go. Yeah, that's a hard one to rhyme, I feel like. But, okay, mistake getting out of Meta. Meta's going to be, I mean, my number one stock today is going to be Amazon, followed by Palantir, followed by Meta. But we did get out of Meta there. Nervous on that move down. What a mistake that is, as that goes right back to today's high. And I just sit here, wait for Amazon to break my neck. So we'll see if that can happen now, breaking up through one. I mean, we'll give some back, but I mean, the amount that we'll give back is nothing considering what we've scalped on this name. So a good trade for me on all of that. That's going to be that name. We did take another fill just now on Shopify as that came back up. We're banging that off of 37 there. So if that breaks through 37, we'll get out. But I'd hate to give a lot of money back here at the end of the day. So we're not putting on anything. I mean, if this market really wants to go, I mean, maybe it does want to go if it takes that out.
Like it.
I don't know. My biggest position, though, I'll tell you it over and over again, is Amazon. And then we just got into a decent spot on Shopify because we got that reload rate.
If Amazon breaks 138.10, I'd go long. It just doesn't feel like it wants to go because the market, like we're now solidly past that 13,000 after bouncing and now putting a challenge on the NASDAQ. Microsoft is back at the high of the day, so it continues to churn off that 82. It can't seem to break 83s yet, but it feels like that test is going to be coming. I've only looked at NVIDIA, but I mean, you could look over at load up. AMD just broke VWAP here, so you're seeing some strength in that name as well. We already talked about Tesla. It just touched 850, so it looks like it's recovering back to where it was when that story, I don't know what, it's a story, I guess, story got released. Yeah. So you're seeing some signs of strength. However, I'm more frustrated about this one. ARC trailed me out there at 680, only to then reclaim or retest the high. So this is not necessarily done, although the breakout at 7 even. It is so much easier. That's not easier. It's just, in some ways, it is easier to get a consolidation trade or a pullback and dip trade off of a support level than it is to take the breakout. Because oftentimes, like you'll take the break, you'll scalp some out, then you'll throw your stop for the rest, then you're getting stopped out. But if you're not in position, like if I don't have 7s as it's coming back into 8, then I'm watching how does it test that 680 level. Oh, it only goes down like another 10 cents and it reclaims it. Oh, I'm thinking about getting into a long on the dip buy, or I'm just giving the dip buy a little bit more room. Like it's just an easier way to structure the trade. Then you're scalping it to the high of the day. Taking top breaks are good for the momentum and get yourself paid out right away. But holding on to them when they're at this late in the session or that late in the move is a little bit tricky. You want to be trying to find ways to buy dips if you want to play that move when you start getting to some of these highs. So ARC, trend not broken, but I am out of it for now. I guess it'll just be, unless Amazon breaks 138.10, I don't really have a long that I want to get right now on the market. I'll just hold on to the 2 we have, look for some dips to try to catch some more. I was looking at Coinbase 91 earlier on in the day saying, well, that's a good breakout, but Coin's right on those lows, man. And no, it's not up 8%. It's just a bad print for us on the close price. It is down heavily and showing no signs of getting off the bottom. Looking for things that have a chance to maybe make a relief rally. Upstart, incredibly weak. It looks like it wants to just close right on those lows of the day. The meme stocks, which is the only day that I don't think we've been talking much about AMC in the afternoon. I did have that play off $22 on AMC, and then it just broke down. I then reversed into the short side of the trade, scalped some out, and then it came back above 22.25. So it's been a losing trade for me on AMC, that long at 22. It's getting to VWAP, but the volume, considering what it's done the last couple of days, I'd say it's a bit of a nothing burger on the volume right now on AMC, down about 5.5%. Same thing with GameStop.
Yeah, not much happening there. Of course, we reloaded Amazon. We don't have to keep talking about that one. I was looking at Upstart again, down that 30% off. What a blow off the bottom there on the morning when we were right off of the pre-market bottom of 28 bucks all the way to 33.50. So like that really got going there. So what a good move, obviously, to the upside for Upstart, and then it just been fading all day. So yeah, this is a decent break spot, I'm guessing, here for Upstart, especially if the short is gonna hold out. We did reload, obviously, in Amazon, we talked about it. But what about taking this Upstart right here through that bottom wick of 27.60? So maybe we can see, where was Upstart yesterday? Yeah, higher, 27, that's, what's that, 26.80? Maybe let's look at a 20-minute quickly here, or we'll just drop that down to maybe a 5-minute chart. So we've been down here, that's 26.80. The level that we'd have to break would be the day's low, which is 26.73. Now that's the pre-market, we're talking about the low rate. Now, yeah, this could go. I think this is not a horrible spot. So let's try an Upstart short, I feel like, if we do break that bottom of the day. So let's zoom in a little bit. What is that exactly? 27.60? I don't know.
It's also, that's going to be SSR too, right? So
yeah,
you get, sometimes you get extra.
I mean, I can go short now.
Yeah, fade into it.
Just fade into it because it is SSR. But this is
we
a
say
good
fade all the time, and then we don't necessarily
potential.
explain it.
Uh-oh, the ladies are here. That's always a bad sign. Okay, so, or a good sign.
It's in that thermos.
There we go. Yeah, what's in that thermos, Katrine? Like, come on. We should be testing that out. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Oh, good look here, guys. Ash took mentioning Bed Bath & Beyond, and again, this is another, it's not up 100%, another one of those symbols that has a close from last week that's showing it's been getting crushed like the other meme stocks all session long. Higher low at 9, and just check out this like 975 to 980 that it's trying to break back out of. Gets through there, hey, nice little shot into VWAP. So I'd call it more like a 980 into 10 play if it does get going. Just, you saw a gradual move to the upside on AMC there. So catching some volume off of these lows has a chance for a bit of a breakout here. I mean, I don't love the notion of trying to break a trend this late in the session without volume a little bit better than what I'm seeing. But like a 980 break, giving it back to 60s and trying to play for a VWAP push and then hold some in makes some sense. The downside for us is sometimes the best part of that move comes after 4 o'clock. And when that's the case, it doesn't always make for the best trade for our purposes anyways. I'm going to be looking for some reloads on some of these longs here, get 330, but I will, that inside trade stops for me, like playing inside of these ranges, like reloading Microsoft at 82s. I won't be doing that past 340. Whatever I have on at 340, I'm going to pop a trailing stop in, throw a target in. That goes for NVIDIA off of that 170 if it even goes down there, or Microsoft at 282. At some point, you know, like either we're making that breakout style trade or you have to stop doing the whole ad. Once the imbalances come out, hopefully we can catch a bit of a trend. I'm hoping it can meet to that upside, obviously, but there's no guarantees. We still have not been able to take out that lower high that we put in this morning. Like the highs from from earlier this morning in the morning session on the NASDAQ are still in place. We've gotten within like 10 points and then reversed every single time, despite the strength in names like Microsoft.
All right, I think I'm just going to get out at 670 if we break on AERC. Obviously, that move has happened now to 720. I just feel like a breakdown here somewhere like that. We'll be able to get out of AERC, but we are in the money 85 cents. Look at the Amazon trade. It happened again, man. We went short again and got out at VWAP or at the 50 period. So, sorry, not sorry about that, but that's the trade that I'm going to continue to make. And then we did take Upstart. So our first position we took at 66. Then we punched the short. As it breaks 60 there, it only goes down to 50 and stops. So we are going to respect $28. I mean, if you don't get out, we saw what happened to me on Upstart earlier today where we were short. Thank God we were able to get out. But look at that move all the way to the upside off that short break. So it broke all the way and went $5. Now, I don't think that's going to happen today. I actually think it's going to come back down to the downside. But we will have to respect that a little bit there on UPST and just hope for the best. Honestly, I mean,
I was wrong.
I feel like this is what I want. So we'll trade this down low. It stopped at 50, so I do have a bid at 51 for 10%, and then hopefully we'll crack lower, 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 and then, even if we drop this down, like I said, do a 10-minute, maybe we can zoom this out a little bit more, but there's 27 is right there. So I feel like we could stop in and around 27, 27.20, something like that, if the move does continue back. But of course, we do need the NASDAQ to come back in for us, and right now it's not doing much. So we'll trade Upstart. We understand this is a little bit of a dangerous position off earnings, but hey, danger's my middle name. No. It's not. Pretty conservative, but we'll wait to see here.
I know what it is.
Happens there. Yeah, it is my middle name.
No. Well, no. I know what your middle name is.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll play a little dangerous right now on Upstart and see. But you know, down near the day's low, it's at the day's low right now, and I think it's worth a short. So we'll test it out here against $28. We might be in this one, but it won't be for a long time.
Someone typed in Clover, and I'm like, oh yeah, Clover reported. It's happened to you earlier too. And I'm like, oh, is it doing something because it got put in the chat? No. Exactly flat on the day at the low, still not doing much. But Clover, this is interesting because if it breaks out this low, I mean, 250. Maybe go to the daily chart just to fill in a little bit. If you look at what just happened here, like this little bit of a range at the top, if we hold below that 275, 250 becomes in play, that 50 period, next support down. So I'd be watching this one tomorrow maybe. It could be a little bit more exciting. Microsoft is showing some strength, but oops, that's still on the daily. Just got to 83s and then pulls back into 280, 250. So it tried to take out the high. Once again, yet another rejection of that high of the day. I can't tell you how many times that's been happening here, guys. It's just one of those things. At AERC, someone's saying, can it go to 7? I think it still has a chance. Like, it's holding the top end of the channel. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of thinking, why shouldn't I just be getting back in? I should be taking 680s, giving it 10 to 15 cents, and then playing it off the highs. The trend is still unbroken with this. Every time it pulls back and consolidates, it holds the last breakout area. So it did it at 6, pulled back into 6 and held 6. It then broke this 675, pulls back in and holds 675. As I talk myself into it, of course, this will be the first, second, third, fourth, fifth dip, if I do even get it underneath 7. Like, I want it somewhere in the 80s if I'm going to make that play, because the stop out's going to be around like 670, 665 or something like that. So if it wants to play inside here before breaking, I'll take a shot. We still have 20 minutes left to go, 25 minutes left to go in the market, and I decide to bid in case it comes down and it's about to challenge high of the day.
Holy shnikes, AERC is a banger, as there it goes again, man. It's going again right now. It just touched 750, so a nice move upside for AERC. We're long at 607, so this is $1.25 now in the money on AERC as that continues to go. Upstart, of course, goes 25 cents the other way for me, which is not great, but we're going to watch that out now as AERC continues to have some momentum behind it as it's starting to go. So AERC, congratulations. Anybody that was long earlier on, man, this is a legit 60%. I mean, it was baselining and then it hit 5 and just kind of took off. So nice move upside there for AERC. Like I said, I mean, we are in the environment where I think you should be paying yourself. We're only holding the last 20% to see. So we've already kind of made back a little bit of what we lost here, and we'll be flat on the stock today. But who knows? I mean, if this really does moon, then maybe we can make some money on this. But so far, if I was to get out right now, we'd be flat on the stock. So we didn't hold enough. I mean, maybe this out was not good at 30. That's probably the case. I'm pretty happy to get out at 50 and then again at 80 as it was the day high. But right now, congratulations to everybody that said hold on to this thing, because there goes AERC. Arrow clean move to the upside. Upstart, I mean, it takes the day's low, and like I said, this is not going to be a day maker or break or anything like that. I would love AERC now 760. I would love for this name to continue moving down, but hey, if it takes out 28, we've already got that plan of action, and wow, it's just motoring, man. Like 760 again.
I'll be canceling that 680 bid.
Yeah, what?
No, because now 680 is 10% down from here. I never want to dip by sitting out in the market 10% below a recent high. Because a lot of times if you get that fill, the way it's trending right now, I'm not going to want that fill. I have my Tide chart up because someone threw it up there, and I was like, that's right, $1 at Tide. And Tide went to 101 today. This is the same trade we were just talking about. Like Mullen did this, and there was a couple of other names that have done this, where it gets to that $1, and then it just sort of gives you this support. I get it. We took the 150 got rejected, but that's another reason I like the $1. And it's just held a buck the entire week. So tomorrow, if I'm not bidding in front of $1 on Tide, then I need to be slapped in the face with a trout, and you'll get that one. Sean gets that reference. Probably no one else will get that.
Internet relay chat there with the trout. We have this one for a face slap, but you probably have it on your board. You have this one. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the face
Admiral Akbar
on that. So
why'd they have to kill him off? Anyway, they shouldn't have killed him off. I didn't like the way that Akbar died in the new movies. It kind of sucked. He's a legend, man. I'm actually putting Tide $1 on my iPad so I don't actually forget this tomorrow morning, because really, like, all I'm going to do is come in, bid 101, 102, 103 if it opens above $1, and have a stop sitting at, checks chart, under 99 cents. 98.9 is going to be my stop, and I'm going to bid 1s, 2s, and 3s, and then if it just goes sideways, I'll scalp that, and if it makes a 10 to 15% move, we'll be able to take it, because that's, look at how it's setting up. How many times do we have to see this? Your out is pretty clear. Like, you're risking 3 or 4 cents, depending on your average price, maybe 2 or 3, and you're trying to capture 5 to 10 and then hold some for 10 to 20. And if it goes parabolic, you hang on to 5 or 10% of that trade, and then, you know, maybe it goes to that 150 again. So it's, I started out when I was day trading. My first money that I was profitable trading was on penny stocks. So little things like this are like your easy ways to structure a trade where there's no holding it past your stop. Like, you know where you're wrong if it goes below 99 cents. You just sort of put the stop and then hit it and quit it and forget about it. The volume and liquidity is going to be there, no concern. So thank whoever put in Tide in the chat, because that reminded me that I wanted to be doing that this week.
Oh, man, every time it reminds me of laundry there, Tide. But
We
yeah,
use Tide.
BBIG there, obviously a good one as well. Oh, I'm getting an error as I try to refresh my blotter. That's never a good sign. Okay, so... All right, AERC, we talked about that. My out's still going to be the same, man. 680 right there at that bottom. So if it takes that out, we're going to get out of that. We are going to get stopped out of Upstart. You know, we tried that short. I don't really know why this isn't working, to be honest with you. You know, it will be, again, a negative stock for me today. So I don't know. It could be a lot worse than it is. But this 30 or this 40 cents is going to be not a good hit at the end of the day. It's fine. We'll end the day green. I mean, we're going to be green today. There's no doubt about that. But it's just, yeah, I didn't expect this, honestly. I mean, the market's done nothing but kind of come in, and Upstart wants to go back up. So I don't know. All right, AMD, how much time do we have? We only have 20 minutes, 10 minutes until the imbalances. So Brendan just put it in the chat. Well, not just. I'm just seeing it right now 9 minutes ago. 40 million amazing shares are notional to buy. That's nothing.
I want to quickly show something, because people keep putting phase in the chart. One of the reasons why, I know you said it, and I probably put it in the chat, why I'm not a huge fan of sometimes the price action and the spread on phase. Like, look at it taking out the high of the day on your chart. It's like, okay, look at it breaking 20, trying to take out 2050. But the entire time during this break, look at the spread. Like, you have offers above 20. So it's broken 20 and run some stops, but where's the bid at? Like, it's still, like, where's the bid above 20? Like, where are the buyers? So if you're taking a long, it's like someone put 100 shares there. Now they'll stack in and disappear. You're getting a few fills. That, I don't like that price action, because what ends up happening is you then throw your bid and trying to go long off that 20 looking at the chart, and there's just no support of it here. And the longer that holds, suddenly you get people throwing their offers back in like, crap, I just got long at 5s and 10s, and I want to get back into the offer. And the price action here has been dips of $1 to $1.50 at a time. It's way too late in the day for me, or at least the way I look at it, to go on a 20 long break, or even like a 1950, knowing that even a small pullback is going to get you to 1850. So yeah, it's still trending and it looks good, but these are so much different. If you're holding it from the morning, or you have this breakout at 17 that never challenged against you, that's one thing. If you got dip buys at 18 or 17.50, that's another. But the long up here at the top, it doesn't really work that well for a day trader. There's not enough time in the day for it to work. And if you're wrong, it's just too ugly if you're, as I say that, it's too ugly if you're wrong. Now it's all the way back at 18, like I was saying. It looks good on the chart. When you pop the level 2 up, and it's putrid, because it's just not showing you that bid above that 20 level. And if you don't have a level 2, it just looks like it's breaking the high of the day. You pop the level 2 up there, and there is nobody was buying above 20 bucks. All the offers were going and stops were getting triggered by prints above the ask, but there was nobody on that bid, and that's why you probably saw it just flush back into VWAP, which is maybe a better trade. Like, the long off 18 and VWAP just gave you $1. Dip buys are better than picking up the high of the day a lot of times for these types of plays.
Okay, Brad, I'll have to talk to you after, bro. All right, talk after.
What's
Brad.
he saying?
Nothing. He was talking about the phone, so he's gonna get my phone. Okay, so we got out of Upstart. I don't know if we helped blast that up or not, but we got out at 02. It goes as high as 15, but we are out of Upstart. So honestly, okay, we'll do this one, but not in a celebratory mood. Like, that's money coming out I don't know. Normally it's like, oh my God, we have so much money. We have this wheelbarrow and the money's flying out. But that time it flew out of our pocket. But yeah, just shouldn't have taken it. Trying to get a little spicy. Instead, look at this Amazon. I feel like I need to like NFT a lot of these. This is exactly what we were doing yesterday on the stock. And I think it was Google yesterday or something it was. Maybe it was Amazon. But like, hopefully this comes down. I want to be able to hold the rest of this. We talked about that. Shopify, same kind of a trade for Shopify. That went all the way up. Didn't take us out. We were waiting a little bit higher. That comes back in, and we just take profit again. But Shopify's been pretty profitable, so can't hate on that. Like I said, crash on Cam. What's up? I have a full HK position.
Wait a minute.
Nah, it's a funny. He doesn't. So that's a good one there. Hopefully you don't have any position on HKD, but that's a funny one. It's long at 2,500. Yeah, isn't that funny how fast that name came in? Bang! Right there. Let's go, Mamma Mia, quickly.
I think that was the same person that got me to answer that question seriously yesterday.
Oh, yeah. No, as soon as I saw the poster, I was just funny. I want to bring it up. But there it is right now. A little bit of pizza action there as we go. Boom for today. Bang. My number one stock today is going to be Amazon easily because look at the damage that we've been doing on the scalps. Now, hopefully this can come back in. We don't have to worry about it. We would be at the highest spot we were at all day if we didn't have that Upstart short that we lost on. So, okay, we'll put that one in our pocket, forget about it. But we would be at the highest spot of our day if we didn't have this one trade. So it has taken some money out of our pocket. It still is a not very profitable, but a profitable day anyways for us. So, we're not even really at too many goals of ours. We're just hanging around, paying for dinner, bottle of wine, and then we'll see where it goes. So nice move up for AERC again. We still have that same bottom, and now it's only 5 minutes until the imbalances.
Time to get those trailing stops in because they're all about to hit.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just watching all this stuff. Unfortunately, I can't refresh my blog.
See, the market can't break a high. Like, you make a low like that after it looks so weak, and all we're doing is rejecting tops. So I put my trail in tight to 82. We've been rinsing and repeating on Microsoft, but that's going to trail out there. NVIDIA, which we've been doing the same thing on, it's like, okay, well, it keeps on, retesting back to the downside. I've got my trail in just below that 171, so that could come out as well. Amazon, I felt the long was going to work, so kind of been sitting here hoping Amazon would take that. I didn't really hoping against Sean's trades. Just I kind of thought we'd take out some of these highs. It didn't end up happening, so I'll put a trail on that one as well. But yeah, it's just another one of those inside days. That's what has to happen. Like, Sean, rinse and repeat off that Amazon. If I think it's a long, rinse and repeat off support of the stocks that you like to the long side because there is nothing else to do. With only 4 minutes till the imbalances, I will come back to Bed Bath & Beyond. That break, remember that 980 level that looked like it was a chance for a breakout? Actually holding as resistance on Bed Bath & Beyond. So it's still on the bottom end of its channel. Those meme stocks, they tried late in the day, just didn't get very far. And it's not just them. It was the same thing. I should say the same thing with AMC. Like, it's climbed, it tried to break VWAP, it's pulled back in there. So a relatively weak day for those memes. There was a potential that it could have broken out late in the session. Those hopes look like they're dashed a little bit going into the close.
Still no change. So still no change on that imbalance locator. And if you guys watching us, please hit the like button, first of all. I think we've done an awesome job, and not to say that we have, but the show has been a really good one today. So if you do have any love for the show, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and definitely hit the share. Tweet it. Tweet us out, say I've found this station, what up with that. But let's go over to Brendan there. AMC, okay, we'll look at AMC when we get back. What's up, Brendan?
Just looking at Roblox here, guys, popped up on this. You can see some volume coming in once again for RBLX, another one coming after market tonight with earnings.
Okay, apparently news about Google right now that they the DOJ is looking to suspend or sue Google over some ad situation. So Google right now to the downside, maybe worth a short. Let's just try it here. We'll go short a little bit on Google. It might be a little too late. That has fallen back in, but we'll try that short here on Google just as sort of a quick panic play there. Maybe there is more news to this on the downside. Obviously, when this comes through, not great news for all the ad space companies. So maybe an Amazon, a Meta, things like that. Just checking on Upstart to see where that trade is. noise. But right now, Brendan's going to have that DOJ poised to sue Google over ad market
I want to punch out of Microsoft.
as soon as September. Microsoft could be another one of those names.
It's not to
There
say
goes
that,
Amazon,
not to say that Microsoft has to be, but you get news like that late in the session. It's 350 anyways.
Yeah.
I was gonna trail out Microsoft 20 cents from now. So I see that candle. Nah, man, just get out of that long. Nvidia may be a bit of a different story. I'll let that one go because it's in a different space, so that could still work out. But sometimes it's understanding like the sympathy style play. If you're in a long that was working and then this happens, if it's related, it might be a good place to run to the hills. It's also 348. I'm gonna have the imbalance locator up there, but I don't think this will likely affect Google. It'll be a little bit late in the session for there to be any news, but I'll have the imbalance locator up just in case we do see something that comes through. If any of the big tech names come to the south side, I understand there's a bit of a catalyst late in the session. When news comes late, the reaction can be a little bit different than it drops in the middle of the day, whether people want to get themselves positioned or out of position, maybe going into tomorrow, because we have a little something coming up in the morning that many people are concerned about. What could that be?
Yeah, what is that anyways? Oh yeah, CPI coming tomorrow. Okay, so we'll have to pay attention for that. Again, another good trade for us. We'll just fire off the cannon again because not much to do. Amazon goes down to 50 and we take that bid. We got a 55 bid there. So Amazon definitely paying today out for me. So that's going to be hopefully a good trade as we continue to go. All right, so what else is printing here? Shopify, nice move to the downside here as the market's getting ready for these imbalances. Google not moving. We're a dime in the money. No movement on Google. AERC still holding highs. So with this imbalance coming in approximately 40 seconds, we're going to have to wait to see. Earnings, I just saw here, apparently out at 410. So we won't be on the air, but get ready for Coinbase.
For Coin, yeah.
Did I say Coin or Google? Sorry. Coinbase earnings coming out there. And Coinbase dancing, it's up. Is it? Yeah, no, it's not up today. Yeah, that was one of those bad prints again that we had. Coinbase down today. I'll find out on eSignal what exactly Coinbase is down. Down 9.1. So the other way, it should just be a minus in there. All right, here we go. With only 10 seconds left, here come the imbalances. I'll have them up, actually. I'll just stay here for them. Here we go. So only 3, 2, and 1. So let's see what happens now with these imbalances. Ooh, Apple with a buy side. That's going to rocket the market up, so we may get stopped out of our Google at some point. Apple with a buy, Intel with a buy, Google with a sell. Okay, so scratch that, but Google not moving down on that sell. As you can see, there's the Google chart right there for the minute chart. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what the action was on that. Nothing. Apple with a buy. I don't really see anything
Intel
else.
Small buy, that's nothing.
I don't know if you're in that NLSN, but that's on there as a sell.
That's a
yeah,
buy.
I know. That's why I just want to bring it to your attention in case you're in it. And then Apple there with a bid now to the upside. So a 1 million share buy, which is a lot for Apple actually on the imbalance locator. We don't normally see that. So yeah, the market not doing much on that, but looks like it's an upside move.
So usually, if you get wicked out, like my first thought would be just jump back in the trade. It's 350, so I won't do it here. But I did have a trailing stop out at Nvidia, and then this dark pool wick just came in. So I get trailed out, but I get filled up here because it was currently at 171.40. So it's still a positive trade, but like this dark pool wick is going to get me trailed out, which is fine. I'd probably be getting out of myself as it's barcoding around that price. Nvidia, and sometimes you have to learn from your mistakes. Yesterday, I was shorting Nvidia and then shorting it on the lower highs as well at 176. And then when it broke back above 176 in the afternoon show, I did not reverse the trade, ended up going another couple of bucks. Today, it's the same structure, like I'm shorting the open on the pop, I'm then shorting the lower high in the afternoon show, and then it reverses and it's just a reverse into the long. It only gives you $1 to $1.50 on that trade, whereas yesterday $3. But if a pattern is there, you play it until it doesn't work. Right? Sometimes you keep it simple. Like it behaved on the short exactly the way it did yesterday, so maybe it would do the same thing late in the day, showing some strength. What I now see is this lower high at 172 corresponding with yesterday's low. This should be interesting coming into tomorrow. A nice level to play off of NVIDIA. Hopefully that's 72, definitely the 75 as we go into that CPI tomorrow morning. I'm now all flat. I will cancel all my stops because I don't want anything triggering that I don't plan on getting into in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, Roblox is going to be a huge earnings report, man. There's going to be so much to trade tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. I still can't believe that Google, this drops, that they're poised to get sued by the DOJ, and the stock literally does nothing. So I guess, I mean, there was a move here in the market, I guess. You see the NASDAQ pulled down, which is why they pulled down, but really surprised this is getting nothing. I can't believe I've got to get out of this for flat, Brendo. What's up?
That was actually known, I think. There was a story going back about a month or so ago about that, but they were talking about October. So I think it's just that they moved up the timeline potentially on that story, guys.
That's good to know, man. Hey.
No, it's great to know. I mean, I mean, that would make sense why now it's kind of like not doing too much and trying to follow the market. But either way, I'm going to sit on this bid, try to take a dime, or sorry, try to take 20 cents or so. No, it will be 15 cents on this move if it comes back in. The futures are coming in now, so let's pay ourselves a little bit now on that one. Someone just said timeline watch. What's up, Trot?
D-Mac.
Yeah, coming through there. Members, what's up to Ramu? Thank you so much.
D-Mac. Remember D-Mac from you?
Where is he? There he is. Oh, D-Mac.
D-Mac.
Yeah, what's up, D-Mac? Thank you so much to become a member as well there. So 2 new members. Thank you so much. Means a lot. It's $5 a month. You could support the channel. That would be very, very nice. And thank you to everybody that continues to do that. So
check this.
Yes. Walmart.
So it's on a down day, it's always nice to try to find, like, where were we kind of strong? Walmart up 1%, but look at the channel, not the trend, I should say channel, the trend that it's just putting in the afternoon as the market couldn't break out. Walmart showing some serious signs of strength. Interesting that we, of course, get CPI. So, I mean, it's exactly the kind of trend that could reverse in a heartbeat come tomorrow morning. But I'll be putting Walmart on my radar up close to that 130. It's definitely setting up after that little bit of run to catch my attention on any kind of overall market strength. Walmart is showing some signs of some bettors that are going the other direction. And it's always a pretty telling sign when you get that strong of a trend on increasing volume. I don't know if it's hard for you to see, but if I do this, oh, come on, like pull it up. Like the volume has been steadily increasing as it's gone higher. Like you get the same crescendo on the chart that you have as you do on the volume chart. So I love seeing that. It's a sign of strength as far as I'm concerned. Going to end up closing near the high of the day. So good look. It was someone in the chat, Stocks Unhinged, and a few other people were talking about Walmart. And there is, it may start a streaming service that will be included in Walmart Plus. We understand that Walmart in a lot of ways is turned into this competitor with Amazon. So it's like if you want to be in a pure retail play, it's like Costco's better. If you want something which is a little more broad, you can look at a Walmart there. But that's stiff competition out there with Amazon. But good strength here into the close. 5 minutes to go. Market's still inside that channel, man. There was no breakout here today. Maybe we don't get it. And it makes some sense. I mean, coming with CPI coming tomorrow, maybe it makes sense that we couldn't break out.
Yeah, it was. Walmart was in talks with Paramount and Disney and stuff like that, so that would be the catalyst there for Walmart. So good look there. Yeah, it's not really ripping. It's just as opposed to the other stocks that aren't doing much, it does have a nice upward trend. That is for sure. All right, so just to talk. I mean, okay. What's up, Brendo?
I'm just going to show you the earnings board, guys. We have a couple minutes left. Probably the busiest day of the week coming tonight and tomorrow morning.
Roblox and what were the other ones?
I don't even, honestly, Roblox, Unity's on there. We had Unity with
Coinbase.
AppLovin today, McLovin. iRobot, I don't know about, weren't they being bought?
iRobot's being bought,
is by Amazon.
Amazon's buying iRobot.
So that'll be a nothing burger.
That's them, yeah.
I think so. There's an
ignore them because they're getting bought for cash.
Yeah, I mean, unless something drastic happens. Maybe.
So you mean to tell me you're not interested about context logic? Are we going to sleep on?
You wish I was.
You're going to sleep on?
No, I'm not going to sleep on that. And then Fox is there. We talked about them earlier on that. And of course, I mean, PaySafe, Wix.com. I mean, there's so many different names there. But for me, it's all at the top there. There's Roblox, there's Coinbase, and there's Unity. Like, we're going to find out about those as soon as 4 o'clock hits. People saying Coinbase is 410. We'll see. So we do get out of our Google. Unfortunately, Neil and I, if you're joining us for the first time, you understand that we're on a prop firm, a prop floor, day trade the world, and we do have to be flat heading into the close. So no overnight positions at all. So we have to literally just start piecing these out. So it's like, wow, what a baller. Google doesn't go down, but we will get the bottom wick since we've been in this trade. So I just laugh because it's just hilarious how stupid it is that didn't do anything. We are just going to, with only 3 minutes left, we might as well just put an Amazon bid out right there. It runs us over. So we take out that Amazon to end the day with my number one stock, Amazon. Great great name for me. The most profitable name on the floor on the show today is going to be Amazon, and you could see just why. I mean, it's using a little bit more shares and just kind of scalping the top there. So sometimes when you have to make money appear out of nowhere, it's what I do, and there it is right there on Amazon. And then on Google, the same kind of story is going to remain the same here. We'll put a bid low 60s. Unfortunately, it's not moving. I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye. I'm actually bidding 64s here. We'll see if we get run over on that one. But look, since we got into this, that's the best I could have done. So not much. YouTube is down? Is that true?
No, that's just my PC.
Oh, your PC.
This just happened to my YouTube feed. So this is a chat which I usually monitor. Yeah, that's me. I guess I should probably restart the PC. There's not enough memory to open the page. Whatever. I want to note Merck here with 2 minutes to go. Merck, not all the way back, but most of the way to it. So that little update that Brendan gave, sort of looking that they can continue for now while they rectify the problem. Bit of a nothing burger. So when you play news-based trades, if you don't get the initial trade and you're making that second bounce, you got to be careful if it doesn't follow through. You don't want to be averaging into it because it's snap news. It's the algos pulling bids and then rapid selling that causes that initial down move. If that second move is usually going to tell you where you're at, and the fact that it couldn't hold those lows or retest those lows was a bit of a sign it was going to go. It's not enough for me to go long in a situation like that, but it's certainly enough to get off of that short trade while the getting is good. It never got to 90, so I never had to worry about that. But yeah, another one there, Merck. Maybe worth a look tomorrow. We'll see. I kind of feel like NVAX will be more interesting in that space at least. As I try to refresh this chat, will it work? I have no idea.
I don't know. We're now out of Shopify, so we'll go spicy. Nah, not really. Oh, we're gonna do that wing challenge, by the way. A chef out there is gonna send us his spicy sauce.
Yeah.
Chef Joe, you guys don't have anything over there at Sinner's Steakhouse? Here I am dropping your name again there. If you have any spicy sauce or hot sauce, send them through, man. We're gonna try to do a wing challenge one day on the show. That should be hilarious. Us doing that. Fahad's already told us that he's gonna be eating all of the wings.
Fahad's
the most maximum.
He's so overconfident.
Scoville, everything. The guy's going to be just destroying all the wings. Maximum heat for Fahad.
He's already sweating over there.
Yeah, he is. He's wearing a hoodie and everything. He's
no milk allowed too, by the way.
He's going to be wearing a mask.
No milk.
So that should be a lot of fun. Okay, let's just, I'm just going to get out of Google here. We've done the best we could on this name. It doesn't look like it wants to do much here heading into the close. I better punch out of this because
Randy is going to be on the bell.
Randy's
As
on the
Sean
bell.
gets out, let him get out of his positions. You asked for him. He's here in the jorts in 3, 2, and 1. Ring it.
Christ.
See, even the traders like in the back are just like, yo, why you got to ring the bell like that?
Yikes.
Slams
Okay,
that
so yeah, thanks for that, by the way. All right, out of everything there, as of course Google at the very end comes down a little bit, we get out of everything. So yeah, some good trades at the end of the day. I mean, we short Google, that was good. We shorted Shopify, that was good. Amazon shorts were good. The Meta long was fantastic. We got out of that too early. The Upstart short, not good, but out of the way on that one as that went up to 28.50. So yeah, kind of for me, almost like a nothing burger. That Upstart trade did take away some of our profits that we were making there on Amazon. But all in all, a pretty successful day considering the storm that is approaching tomorrow, Brendan.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse for sure. Let's have a look at how we wrap things up. It was the NASDAQ, as we saw at 2 o'clock, that led things to the downside, continues to 1.1 to the negative side of things, 0.34, 0.16. As we said, though, a kind of wait and see type of day, guys, ahead of 8:30 tomorrow morning. Remember, we're on a couple minutes early tomorrow morning to bring you that number.
Nah, I'm not. Are we?
Apparently.
Are we? I mean, I sit down at my desk at 8:30, so.
We'll be on a couple minutes early tomorrow to bring you that number.
Okay, good.
Well, it's just so it's like what happens is like the intro's going and the number's out. It makes sense, right? Like it's just
That's
a couple
fine. We
minutes,
should be
yeah.
here. I mean, that's really good. As I'm trying to organize a T-ball game with our rep team again here, I keep seeing these notes flash in there. So that should be fun. No, not tonight. Not tonight. On the weekend with a team from Ancaster. So that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that. We do have I do have a little baseball thing here. I mean, I'm really proud of that team. So I'm going to hit the baseball one more time. I can't find it, so who cares? All right, lots of earnings coming through. We have Coinbase. There it is. Yes, sir. Nice hit there. It's out of the park. It's a home run.
It's a bad swing right there.
Need to find out where we're at. And Chef Joe, marketing at tradertv.live. Marketing at tradertv.live. Maggie will hit you up with that. And then, yeah, send some stuff, man. I'd love to try, and we'll show it on the show. I mean, that's what we're going to do. We are planning on doing it's called Hot Ones, right? So we're going to do our own version.
I love hot food. Like,
exactly. So we're going to do our version here live on the show. So we're just going to go to the bar next door, grab some wings, and then just
sauce it up.
Basically copy that dude's shtick.
And then basically you guys can watch us struggle because I have a feeling he's going to send something on 500,000 or higher on the Scoville scale, which is intense if you've never done it before.
Chef Joe's down, man. I'm glad I called him out.
It's going to be tasty. It'll be tasty.
So support to Sinner Steakhouse there as we're getting ready to rock and roll. Okay, been a good day, man. Thank you for watching. From everybody, we have Fahad over there. I'll let him load that up. That's going to be pretty funny. There he is. You see he's got his hoodie on, and you can only see his eyes apparently there. You took the man bun out there, bro? So that's that to the upside. Yeah, he doesn't want us to show him anymore. Thanks to Lucas, thanks to Fahad, thanks to our midday show. Trader Pratt and Luca, I mean, they're killing it for 3 straight hours there. Thanks to Steph for a couple appearances there. About to be on a lot more, just getting used to the camera and everything. So we're really happy for Steph, and I think she's been doing a fantastic job. So I think she's ready now, but
she's ready.
You know, puppets. So we'll figure out when she's going to be back on the show, or, on the afternoon show.
What?
Where? Oh, there she is. Yo, what's up, Stephanie?
Hi,
there she is. She's right now, back over there, and they're, trading and figuring out the platform.
Chilling in the cut.
Chilling. She's straight chilling right there. Oh, Win is out. So we can check out that quickly here as Win comes out. And downside right now, it looks like they have a beat on the EPS 82 versus 101, so it's a miss, and sales miss. So Win, although I like the stock, it doesn't look like it's doing much. It closes at 65. It's printing 64.80, 65. Anyways, down and around. So, all right, let's wrap this up. The trade of the day was Micron? No,
it was NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. I knew.
But I cheated and showed you Micron as well.
That's what it was. So, yes, thank you so much for everything. Anything you want to give, Brendan? We're fine.
Trade desk too, big move up. It's 10%
okay, so some,
right now.
so some reports out. For everybody here at Trader TV Live, thank you so much. Hit us up on all the socials, and make sure you're back here tomorrow at 8:28. Is that right, Brendan? Or what do you want to do, 8:25?
Whatever you want, Sean.
Whatever I want, okay. 8:28, we will see you tomorrow live on Trader TV Live. See you, sleep well, tornadoes coming. Ciao.
There is